Not to say I'm enjoying these problems, but once again,
No. Enjoy, dude. Enjoying other people's misery is like that's half of life right there. Oh man, if you don't know whose voice that is, well then you're in the majority. It's so funny doing the show one time a week, and it's still somehow not going as planned. Still experiencing technical issues every single time, missing co-hosts. I mean, it just never ends. What's going on, gentlemen?
Partying hard. I'm not sure what to say. I'm just excited to be here. Misery loves company, so here we are.
Nice. Nice. Well, you know what? I can't hear Miles, so I figure
I'm here.
Yeah, well, you know what?
And now I'm going. Bye-bye.
No, he's gone. He's gone. We better start the show before we lose him forever. I'm back. Yeah? Back. Let's do this thing. Let's do this. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 West Friday. Wow, some to have its die hard, right? We only do this Wednesdays because that's just how life goes. My name is Bryan from this channel right here, PSVR without parole. Not the name of the channel either, but you know what? Psh, whatevs. Joining me this week is Miles Dyer from youtube.com/Miles. What's up, man? Say something. Let the people know that you can talk.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, no, good. How we doing, Bryan? How we doing, Ryan? Good to be here. Yeah, I have to admit the format still hasn't felt natural to me yet.
Doesn't it feel like a million years between episodes now?
It does.
It feels awful. It feels like I'm doing something wrong, and maybe we are. I'm like, according to the audience, maybe we should return to the old format.
Especially because last week was my week off, and it just felt weird.
Right.
I was like, I just sat at this desk and I watched the show, sort of pretending I was there. It was the most natural thing I could do. So yeah,
I forgot. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'll be done the park by 5 o'clock, 5:30, no problem. I'll have supper ready. This. Wait a second, he changed formats. Message like, all right, I'll be a little bit late there, babe. Sorry, but here we are.
Ryan, thanks for joining us, man. Wes, in case anybody doesn't know, Wes is away playing Behemoth. I'm sure I was supposed to say that. I don't know. Maybe he took a picture and posted it on social media that I didn't see.
Others have, so I mean, I don't think it's too big of a deal.
Yeah, probably. It's probably fine. So he's away playing Behemoth and probably in the air as we speak. So we'll definitely, as soon as embargo lifts, we'll have his impressions and some gameplay footage and all that stuff. Should be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, we got Ryan here from the VR Grid. If you're not familiar with Ryan's channel, what the hell have you been doing with your life, Ryan? What? I can't say I've tuned in recently, so my apologies. What have you been doing over on the VR Grid these days?
Nothing. No, that's not true at all. Of course, it's not just my channel. It's, of course, me and Christopher Shug. And yeah, I mean, just slowly reviewing stuff. It's what we do is just check things out. It's up and down. Like content's all over the map. We checked out Stride, obviously, Quest stuff. I mean, I'd say PC stuff, but that's just like a barren wasteland right now. So it's kind of mostly Quest and PSVR2. And yeah, just playing stuff. Our pod's on hold right now just because we're so busy with work and just catching up on stuff. I've been playing a lot of not VR for the first time in a while, mostly Fallout 4 because I'm still riding that train high. I've got my Pip-Boy on order. I love the Fallout series. I tried to play it in VR. The vanilla version of VR stinks. So I have to actually like take the time to mod the hell out of it to get it to play properly. Really weird. It sucks because we played Skyrim on the PSVR2, right? It was a pretty decent port, especially after they patched it and kind of fixed everything. Mm-hmm. Man, they just left Fallout to die on the vine, man. It's crazy. The vanilla version was not. I played for 2 hours and I couldn't do it anymore. It stunk. So playing Fallout 4 flat and enjoying that again, and dipping my toes in VR, of course, as always. So yeah.
I've been meaning to jump back into Fallout 4 with the patch since the show came out, but whether the enhancements are huge or not. And also, I always felt that Fallout 4 didn't get a lot of love, or as I always feel it's like kind of beaten down unnecessarily. Like I had a really good time with Fallout 4, and I know a lot of people didn't like the base building. I like the base building, but yeah.
All right. Sorry, on my second go, I'm avoiding the base building as much as possible. I'm just straight there. I'm just literally just wandering the wasteland, looking for side quests and things I didn't do the first time. Because like when it comes to minus Starfield, when it comes to Bethesda RPGs, I play them until I do everything. I find every like hidden level, even like the stuff that's like not marked on maps. I find these things just to say like I saw that, and then I just keep walking along until something kills me, and then okay, I'll go south instead of east, and that's how I play this on the second go. Anyways, on the second go. So yeah, but Fallout 4, I'm totally back into it. I'm still riding the hype train of this TV series, and I've loved the series since Fallout 3, I guess, but even before that, I've dived back in. I like Fallout.
Yeah, I thought 4 was good. I actually, so with Fallout 3, I spent like 300 hours in that game, still didn't see everything. And somebody's like, "Oh, you need to play New Vegas," and so I jumped over to New Vegas and was like, "Oh, this is more Fallout 3," which is fine. Like, I mean, Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. So, but I was like, I felt like there was still so much more to do in Fallout 3 that I didn't see. So I was like, oh, if I'm going to do this, I might as well just go back to Fallout 3 and explore more of that world that I'm already intimately familiar with. And then Fallout 4 came along, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see everything this game has to offer. And I went down every single quest log, every single path that you could possibly go down. I went as far as I could with every single group that existed in that world. And then backed out right before I had to decide that I was going to be part of their little guild or whatever. And so I saw every single quest line that I possibly could. Hundreds of hours later, finally joined the Institute, and then quit like, I don't know, an hour before the game was over. I just did at that point. I do this with everything though. I really do. I did that with Breaking Bad. I watched every single Breaking Bad episode. And then I was like 1 or 2 episodes before the finale, I was like, I've lost interest, and I backed out.
All right, that's messed up, man.
Yep.
Like that's tweaked.
I've been told, but I just lost interest in what was happening in that show and the characters and everything else. And so this is just how I never feel the need to commit to something just because I've committed so far, which is why I'm single.
You're so cringe.
I'm so cringe. Everybody's unsubscribing as we speak. They're like, you didn't finish Fallout 4? You didn't finish Breaking Bad? Bryan, how can we ever trust you again? Yeah. I do have a tragic story to impart with everybody here. I didn't realize that Island Time VR came out. Like, I saw that it had been able to wishlist it on the PlayStation VR2 storefront. And then somebody's like, "Oh, why you haven't played it yet?" I was like, "No, it's out. And it came out weeks ago." And so I bought it, downloaded it. I was having a miserable time with it. And because
it wasn't great to begin with.
It wasn't great to begin with. That's very true. But I blamed a lot of that on the PSVR 1, to be honest with you, because it was like light tracking, didn't have like turn buttons, and so you were constantly like occluding the move controls from the camera.
Yeah.
This PSVR 2 version doesn't have turn options at all, so you're still turning around in your play space. In the force grab, sucks, man. You have to be like way too close to the item you want to force grab, right? So you're reaching out, knocking shit over, and then finally like, oh, the thing lights up and you can grab it. Wonderful. Well, in the process of playing Island Time, I threw like one punch because I had a spear in my hand and I was trying to do something very difficult and very forcefully, and somehow I punched my Polymega. It slammed against the wall and then fell straight down about 5 feet.
Oh, man.
So I destroyed my favorite thing on the face of the planet. And it was in pieces. I mean, like, I broke everything you could break on that thing. And it's like my favorite device that I own. Like, I enjoy it more than my PSVR 2. So thanks, Island Time. You're the best.
I was going to say, out of all the games you could do that with, you'd at least want it to be a game that you're like, oh, well, it was at least a good time.
Yeah, right? Got some valuable footage for my next review. Nope.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, for real.
So Island Time VR is out. I mean, it must be just in the States because it's not on my store. Yeah, that's a shame.
What are you going to do?
PlayStation.
Yeah. I did not feel the motivation to get good at this, get good at it this time. I'd only played about 20 minutes before I caused mass destruction in my apartment, and there was nothing that I was already about to call it a day before that happened. Like, I remember it being kind of inventive and like you could really craft a bunch of different items, and I'm sure that that's a thing, but like I just wasn't doing it. Like nothing was appealing, and I had no desire to keep playing. So, oh well.
No, it's such a small game too, and if you already played it once before, then it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, no free upgrade path or no upgrade path at all. Graphics looks fine, you know what I mean? But like they better because you're standing in one place the entire time. So I don't know. Nothing worth writing home about. It's a shame.
I didn't even see it in the store. What the heck?
I can't see it on the store either. So it must.
Not even the PS4 version.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Weird.
It'd be even more tragic if the only person it was made available for was Bryan. he wasn't meant to get access to it.
We got him.
They've had it out for my Polymega since day one. The plan is complete.
Yeah, I got nothing. In my store. So yeah, maybe it is America only.
Looper.
Lucky you, Bryan. Lucky you.
Looper, the Underground Game Cat with the €2 says, happy 4 Wise Wednesday. Oh, it is 4 Wise. Wow.
This could be a new world record.
It could be. Thank you very much, Looper. And thanks for everyone for being here. It feels, it's again, so weird only doing this once a week. It feels like haven't done it in so long. I feel like I'm out of practice every single time we get into this. And dude, I'll be honest, like we don't have a ton of topics today. We don't have a ton of interesting news stories to talk about.
Quiet out there.
It's very quiet out there. But always, leading up to the announcement of a Sony showcase or something like that, it tends to be very quiet on the PlayStation front. But man, it's like, what would we have done with the old format if we did 3 shows this week? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes things work out for the best. We got Salvador with the level 3 membership says, what a great birthday gift of Ryan on the show. Y'all and the cats are the best.
We planned it that way. I knew it was Salvador's birthday. I was like, we're doing this. Has to be today.
Happy birthday, Salvador. Thanks for the level 3 membership.
Happy birthday.
Ryan, the game feline with the $5 tip says, GoFundMe for a new Polymega. Let's go. Yeah. This is generally why I don't tell you guys things. When it comes to, like, as I felt guilty enough as it was for the PAX East GoFundMe, right? That was amazing. You guys helped us out. We were able to do shit that we never would have been able to do because of you guys. But I also totally respect that, like, you guys are that generous and that amazing, which is why, like, I don't really share when, like, I have, like, financial issues, because the last thing I want is everybody to come out and be like, dude, we're going to do this together. We're going to, like, help. I was like, some things I just need to handle on my own.
It's also why Bryan doesn't joke when he, like, plays Red Matter 2 and goes, oh, I would love to actually go to the moon. Because then he's worried that all you game cats are going to raise loads of money and he's going to be on there with like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Like, shit, these game cats raise like $1.5 million.
Do I don't have a passport. Do I need a passport to go to the moon? I don't know how that works.
Do you know? I wonder as well. I wonder.
No one owns. I don't see how. No one owns. There's no.
You can also like
to go.
You can buy pieces of like land on the moon, can't you? There are people that sell it online. You get your certificate. And that, like, what a big con. I bet you
that's going to be such a BS. I was going to say, that's such the biggest lie on the planet until someone in Japan's like, no, that's ours.
Yeah.
Like, no,
you're going to get there with what? Your little certificate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you're saying I don't actually own the Sea of Tranquility?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you definitely own it, Bryan. You definitely own it.
I have my certificate right here. Oh, no, that's porno. It's not. It's a pinball game for Super Nintendo.
Sure.
Yes.
Porno, pinball.
Sure. I mean, whatever, man. You can jack off to whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. TKG125 with the £2 says, Killing Floor Incursion needs to be on PSVR2, IMO. Well. Maybe we'll have to bring that up on PSVR this week, next week.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This week, next week.
Actually, it's this week. I actually have to do
this week. Next week. This week.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is a little disappointing when we talk about things like Table of Tales, The Crooked Crown, and say, wow, that game was so much fun. It was so great. It was hidden gem on PSVR 1. I'm sure that me never reviewing it didn't help. Like, we did a Why We Love episode, but like somehow never got around. Entirely written. The script has been voiced. I never got around to editing it. I don't know how this kept happening last gen. It's happening this gen now too. It's ridiculous. And what am I doing? I'm spending my time re-reviewing Galaxy Kart because y'all should be playing Galaxy Kart. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The Gape Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $5 tip says, for the Polymega fund. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Okay,
here we go.
All right. No. Like, listen, I'm gonna like it and heart it and all that, but no. You guys are. I'm just happy that you guys are here. Chrome Colossus with the $2 tip says Moon Fund. All right. Well, you know what? We're just gonna parlay that into the passport.
I want you to put that $2 away into a Moon Fund. I want this joke to go for a few years, and then eventually, it turns out there's like $100,000 in that Moon Fund. I guess I'm going to the moon.
Asia Wrath in the chat says, "Where is the showcase?" Where is the showcase? I've been hearing bits and pieces, little rumors here and there that we should be seeing a showcase this month from Sony. We are running out of time, you guys. Let's see. Let me look at the calendar. Next week is the last week of the month. So what do you think? Do you think we could be seeing an announcement on Thursday or Friday for a showcase the following week? Or is it just not happening?
Honestly, it was Sony. You never know. This is the stupidest thing. Like, this is like, yeah, it could totally happen because this is how they do it, and it could totally not happen because this is how they do it. Like, I hate their PR. I hate their lack of hype. I hate, like Meta. We know their game showcase is coming months down the line. They go out of the way to make, I guess, yeah, this is it. This is the big things. Like, everybody else is like, yeah, this is coming. So it's like, no, it's a surprise every week. You never know what we're gonna do.
Yeah. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, so absolutely, it could 100% absolutely happen, and it could 100% absolutely not even see. Never. It's awful. I can't stand just communicate.
Yeah, the conditions feel right for a number of reasons. I mean, for one, the new leadership has been announced. That's something that's been in the air for quite a while now. Herman Hulst was actually a really great presence in the last State of Play. And so those are kind of things they would want to establish before, having a big coming together. Because obviously the showcase was always Jim Ryan, especially, kicking it off from the get-go. Also, it's a time when we're long overdue to find out about what the first-party studios have been up to. And it's a time where, I hate to say it, but Xbox is really, really down on its knees with a lot of bad news lately. I think they're doing something at Summer Games Fest, and it's just been complete crickets from Phil Spencer. Hellblade 2 just came out with questionable marketing in the lead up. And
is it out? I didn't even know it was out.
There we go.
Man, I actually was looking forward to checking that out. I love the first one in VR, obviously, but I still love the first one.
Oh man, I would have loved to have played the first.
It was. I mean, it is so good. I mean, I was one of the first. When I got my new PC like 4 or 5 years ago, it was one of the first things I played, and I was blown away. I mean, it was just isometric, that top down kind of view, cinematic somewhat, but there was if that can work, Uncharted can work. All these Sony exclusive games could easily work in VR. Just bring the camera up and let us look around. That's all you got to do, and it worked amazingly well.
Yeah, well, it's amazing that Hellblade 2 was the first now current game gen announced, because it was done at the Game Awards, the same one that the new Xbox was shown. This was way before the PS5 was announced.
Holy moly!
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into the reviews of Hellblade 2. It's definitely been a mixed bag, and it's just doesn't feel good in the Xbox camp at the moment. And I'm someone that, although I'm not an Xbox player, I want them to do well, and it's a shame to see what's happening. But unfortunately, when your opponent is down, that's sometimes when you've got to capitalize on it. And so Sony, with their annoying smug confidence, could go, yeah, we can now just swan on and do a great piece, while Xbox is going through turmoil and saying, here are what all our first party, what all our first party studios are working on. So whether that means it's going to be in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I don't know, because as Ryan says, it's just very hard to predict Sony. They probably don't know until the week before. Should we do they have a meeting every Monday. They go, should we do it this week? Yeah. And they just say, raise our hands, and if enough people do it, they go, all right, we're doing it. And what we're going to announce? Oh yeah, shit, we better think about that. Let's see what we can cobble together.
Quick, let's get some CGI trailers together.
Yeah.
I love those. Who wants to see gameplay in a trailer?
Yeah, for real.
Gameplay's so overrated.
Yeah. Yeah, desperate. I think we desperately need a showcase again. It's been like really, really quiet the last week or two, and just I don't know, man. Just I think everybody's ready for some big news. Everybody's ready for big stuff they can get excited about. You know, we all love indie games, we all love smaller games, but man, we just need to hear from the horse's mouth. It just needs to be something big, something something on the horizon to be excited about. Although there are things that they've announced that we haven't seen much more of. You know, we with Metro VR and Zombie Army VR being announced and some gameplay being shown. I mean, there should be some excitement for that, but I think, I don't know, me personally, I don't think I'm going to be excited until we get like a release date, right? So I can start counting down to a day to play it. Sometimes when things are just nebulous, like, oh, sometime this year, I'm like, all right, well, I'll get excited sometime this year. Yeah,
or delayed till next year is what ends up happening, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. And it's also been reported on the the financial calls. I think it was that there's no first party was it new IPs? There was some term of like until April 2025, as in there's no new bigger game announcements. Which on the one hand it's like, oh, that's about a year away, but that doesn't mean stuff still can't be announced now. Right. They just have to throw a title up to get people. All you need to do is see Naughty Dog and then a title, and it's like, right, now we know. But the wind has been taken out the sails of a lot of the first party studios. Insomniac had the leaks, and then obviously they had people in their studio kicked out. Naughty Dog were going to be doing Factions, that then got cancelled. There's been a lot of turmoil with Bungie and stuff. And so the reason I talk about the flat screen games is whenever we worry about the state of VR, we just have to appreciate that this isn't because VR is underappreciated, although there's lots of arguments for that. But it's like there's problems happening with their big first party studios. This is happening across the board, and unfortunately, it means that it's going to take longer to get to those VR things. So I just can't wait for them to announce a big North Star game. You know, something like next year coming out on PSVR2, and it's like, shit, it's a year away, but I'm so hyped for it. Kind of when Meta announced San Andreas coming to VR, which
no one talks about that.
Right. But like, that's an example of a game that when it was announced, like, regardless of where it is now, that was a cool thing to announce. Like, great. And it got us thinking about what could come to PSVR 2. Could we get GTA 5 online, or I don't know.
Right. So what you're saying is announce whatever the fuck you want, whether it's coming or not.
Yeah.
The line that you're referring to is definitely one that's been, contested, and people misinterpreted it quite a bit. But here that's what they're saying is less than a year out, and they're saying like no additional, like what, no to, they were talking about existing IPs, right? No AAA.
That was it, existing IP,
right? Yeah. And so technically we could definitely see other AAA first party games from Sony from non-existing IPs over for the rest of the year, or something along those lines. But again, it's like, why? This is just the messaging that Sony's got right now, right? We're like having to kind of piece together things that we've heard from, investor calls or whatever, and then like they get misinterpreted, and then like they Sony's to blame for all of this, right? Because we need to hear it from the horse's mouth in a way that's meant for consumers, so that it's very clear. And they're just not doing that, right? They've been so quiet for so long, and it's exhausting. But
not unless you give up on them, which I have. So now it's no longer exhausting. Now I'm just like, all right, guys. Again, when he was surprised, when I hear something great, awesome, but I can't wait on bated breath for the next Sony anything, because you could be waiting forever, or might get it tomorrow. Who could say?
and the last showcase was so poor. Like, it was a real big disappointment.
That was the one with Metro, right? Where we got Metro as the announcement.
No, that was the state of play, wasn't it?
You're right. Sorry.
The showcase was like end of last year, and it wasn't just for us in VR space, like the flat screeners. They were like, oh, there was basically nothing really announced. It felt like a stalling of like, it's weird. Yeah, weird.
But whatever, it's happening. It'll happen eventually, whenever it decides to happen. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even whenever this topic comes up, there's an initial excitement when we start talking about it, being like, oh my God, imagine the possibilities of a Sony showcase. And then within minutes of the conversation starting, depression starts to creep in, and you're just like, yeah, but they always disappoint, and who the fuck knows when it's going to happen, and blah, 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 blah. So, luckily, we have Miles Dyer here in the chat with the level 2 membership saying Island Time Fund. Thank you, Miles. You're the best. Alex with the $2 tip says Polymega on the moon. So we definitely have to like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
This is good stuff.
That'd be a new YouTube series. I'd watch that.
Yeah. This is just a good reminder to everybody. Make sure you go subscribe to my retro channel, because as soon as another Polymega shows up, I'm definitely gonna do some streaming over there. The link for the retro channel is in the description. If you didn't know I had a retro channel, then you haven't been paying attention. I apologize. I don't apologize. Oh, hey, there's another tip. Sun WTF with the $10 tip says Brian's secret I'm not telling you what I need fund. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for supporting the who knows what it could possibly be. Dead Ringer the Game Cat with the level 1 membership says, what are you more hyped for, Metro or Zombie Army? You couldn't have picked two other games. So here's the problem. I'll go first. I'll get this out of the way so you guys can forget about what I say very quickly, because I don't think you're gonna like it. Zombie Army. I only have experience with Zombie Army Trilogy, and that's a pretty bare bones Zombie Army game, right? So like they added, according to people I talked to, my good buddy Finn out there who keeps me updated on this shit, they added so much more stuff in terms of like progression and actual depth into the Zombie Army games after that. Like Zombie Army 4 is where it's at, right? So I have no experience with that, so I'm not super excited about Zombie Army VR. And with Metro, the one Metro game that I've played some of, I really enjoyed, but I don't really trust Vertigo games to make a good VR Metro game. Like, they're good at what they do, but they haven't shown that they can rise above what they do, right? And so, unfortunately, Dead Ringer, because of those reasons, I'm not really excited for either one. But once I get my hands on them, I have an open mind, and I'm very excited to be wrong about these games. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I'm a little more optimistic. I know Vertigo Games has definitely, I would say, dropped the ball, but definitely under-delivered on their last few titles. I mean, Arizona Sunshine and then After the Fall. Neither game is bad, but neither game is also great. And I think that's definitely kind of what we're seeing here. Even before that was what, I guess that's published. Never mind. Those two games are good enough. That being said, with Metro also has the backing of the original studio as well and the creator of the Metro series. So that gives me some hope that there's a direction there that should keep the game VR version or VR game in line with the series. At least I hope it does. I've only played the flat games a little bit in my time, but as a guy who is just in love with a post-apocalyptic world, I don't care where it's at. Russia, I'm down. And then when it comes to the Zombie Army, I have no experience with that franchise. I mean, I guess I can kill more zombies in VR because I haven't done that 1,000 times before. I know the franchise gets some love, so hopefully, I just hope it delivers. I hope it delivers. I hope it's not like a phoned-in experience. Something that's just like, oh, another VR, like 0.5 version of the actual franchise game, that we've seen, many times before, and that is a fully realized, not to say next iteration in the series, but a fully realized VR version of why that game's up to like at least 4 games now, right? Like, it's popular for a reason. Just don't screw that up. It's that simple. I hope.
Yeah, I think it's number 4 that is the only one I've played out of the Zombie Army series, which was a PlayStation Plus game. I think that's why I got my hands on it, and I only played it for a little bit because it was a time where all my friends were playing different games, and I would only be interested in playing it as a co-op campaign. And it looked like a good platinum trophy to do with your friends all at the same time. So if they have that kind of ethos with this VR version, it's going to be a good co-op campaign. Because like Arizona Sunshine 2, that's an example of a co-op campaign, but it feels very narrow. You're following a set path, and like, I don't know, I think of stuff like Survive, and there's a bit more of an open world element and that kind of exploration that I think lends itself to VR gaming. You want it that you're teaming up and you're like looking in different areas. And I don't know how many like co-op campaign shooters there are on PSVR2 currently, because I'm tempted to say there aren't many, but I may be missing out on loads.
Man, I mean, with an actual campaign, I mean, obviously after the fall and Arizona Sunshine, but then we get outside of that.
But after the fall, I know it is a campaign, but I kind of feel it isn't.
I agree.
Yeah. It's kind of like a looter shooter sort of thing. But like, yeah, Arizona Sunshine, there's not many, so I kind of welcome this. I love the social VR experiences, and you know, freeze now, Bryan.
No. Now, do you remember what sentence you were in the middle of? That's the bigger question.
I said Vertigo Games has made me not have full confidence in the Metro game. Then it got cut. I'm not conspiracy theorist, but just saying, we never know who's trying to jeopardize this stream.
I guess Soul Covenant technically is a co-op campaign thing.
Okay.
Well, technically, if they allowed you to do the co-op mode.
Well, you got to play for an hour, and then you're kind of good to go.
Have you? Well, on PSVR2,
I think it's fixed now.
What?
I'm under the impression it's fixed now in North America. I haven't tested it.
Well, I'll have to play that because that game was only going to be fun with friends. It was, yeah. I don't think that was going to be a great single player experience.
That's a fair fair shout for one.
Yeah. I mean, dude. I played the shit out of Swords of Gargantua and Altair Breaker, right? With
Altair Breaker, I loved.
Played it by myself, played it with friends. It was 100 times better with friends. You know, an excuse to hang out, shoot the shit, and kill a bunch of stuff.
Ha! Crossfire. One more.
Yes. Oh, there we go. So there are Crossfire is a great one. But the thing I was going to say about Vertigo Games was, as Ryan said, it's not that they've made bad games; they make really good games. My feeling with Arizona Sunshine 2, and I could be completely wrong because I'm not a developer, I just kind of felt that it was held back by the fact it was getting a multi-platform launch. I felt it didn't take advantage of the PSVR2 features enough. But people might disagree with that. That's
the world we live in, man. I mean, if we want to get any kind of games, that's the world we're living right now. I mean, like PSVR2 exclusives. You know, I said before on our own pod, but I've talked to developers who said they can't get funding for a game unless it's on the Quest platform first. If they're making a VR game, they're like, yeah, great. On the Quest, they're like, well, no, it wasn't the plan. They're like, well, that's your plan. That's changes the whole development cycle for, you know, even the scope and everything. And so that's where the money's at. And so that's what they just have to cater to those. So the PSVR 2 exclusives are gonna be just so rare. But hopefully Sony steps up.
Yeah, I was actually, not to take the conversation too far away from this, but like I had my close friend over this week, and I put the Quest 3 that I have on him, and I was on the PSVR 2. We played Walkabout mini golf together, and he was debating like, oh, which one would I get? And it's like, he has a PS5, but would he get a Quest 3? And he was curious about like which has the most games. And I said the way I kind of see it is, he was asking how many games are on PSVR 2 that are also on Quest, and I was like, well, pretty much a lot of PSVR 2 games are also on Quest, but it's kind of like PlayStation flat games, which is most of the games on PS5 are on other platforms, but PlayStation 5 has exclusives, and that's the same for the PSVR 2 as well. You're buying it for the exclusives. But the good side is PSVR 2, as we say again and again, is future-proof. The quality of that headset is going to last a very long time. So as the exclusive catalog builds up more and more, so will the value proposition for PSVR 2 for those that are still on the line about it.
Yeah, I like that.
I forgot to bring up our run of show.
That's right.
Professional as always, guys. That's what I'm doing here. You know what I'm talking about.
Dude, you got a lot on. You're thinking about what you're going to pack in your bag to go to the moon in. It's a lot to think about. I don't know what I'd pack to the moon, but
while I'm trying to figure shit out,
I bring air.
You bring air.
Air's a good one, actually.
I don't know. I feel like that would be counterproductive to what I'm trying to accomplish there. Garfield the Lasagna Lover over on our Discord with a viewer takeover question. Guys, remember you can always get your viewer takeover questions on the show by heading over to our Discord. Click the link in the description below if you're not already a member. Leave your viewer takeover questions. Guess where? In the viewer takeover channel. Garfield the Lasagna Lover says, #viewer takeover. Any game releases since the previous top 25 which are threatening to break onto the list, or even the top 5. Dude, it's been so long since we've done a top 25 debate that like the entire list is going to be radically different. The top 10 is going to be radically different. We did a debate, I think in November or December, I think, but I don't think a list ever came from that because I was trying to do the award show and everything kind of fell apart. We're coming up on a year from our last top 25 actual list that we've made. But I mean, I'll throw this out there. Ancient Dungeon belongs on like right there near the top of the list. It's such.
Has that come out since the last one? It has, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Where do you guys land on Vertigo 2? Like, I love that game. I think more than a lot of people do, and I've seen you guys talk about it, but I actually don't recall what your guys' thoughts are on the game. Like, where do you stand on Vertigo 2 today? I don't think Bryan was a big fan, actually, now that I'm calling.
Embarrassing. Yeah, you go.
Since you're calling me out, I will go first. Vertigo 2, I thought was insanely imaginative, like really, really well done. Had like a goofy story, just tons of different environments. You're constantly experiencing new places and new enemies and new bosses and new things to see. But the performance on PSVR 2 was just so distracting to me that I think I ended up giving it like a 7.9. Now that a few of the bugs have been worked out, I think, it's definitely it's similar, but like there's no reason this game shouldn't be running at 90 native, like rock solid the entire time. That's where I'm at, man. It's like some of the technical issues bogged it down for me. I don't remember where you were at with this, Miles.
Yeah, I mean, I played it at launch, and there were a lot of tech issues that and crashes that meant I was losing progress. And I know they've done a lot of patches, and it was the thing of because the patches kept coming out quick and fast. It was that sense of like, well, I'll just wait until they kind of stopped doing it. And embarrassingly, I have not gone back to it yet. But that is a game that ahead of a top 25 conversation, I would definitely want to go back and play because, yeah, it has a lot of imagination. There was a lot that I liked. It just felt a bit clunky just because of the issues I was having with it, which was a shame because I know it's so beloved as well. So I know there's something there to really be enjoyed. But I did have fun with it, but I've still got a lot more to play of it.
Ryan, where would that fall for you in a top 25 list if you had creative control?
I mean, top 25 on PSVR 2, it'd be on the list, I think. Like I said, I don't think I experienced, I sort of got, either my luck is I experienced all the issues a game has or none of the issues a game has. And then people blast you, like, you didn't get, you didn't crash on you. I'm like, dude, like, I can't sit there and I can't review a game that's broken if I didn't experience the brokenness.
Right. And
I hate that because everything, I see these critical errors and things like that. And Vertigo 2, ironically enough, I guess I did experience some jank, obviously, and there was with the reprojection.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me, but I typically don't even notice it. I've gotten a fight with Chris more than a few times. He's like, "You don't see that?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't see it." I saw it in that game, which kind of tells me just how bad it was. And it was noticeably not good. So I could see people who are affected by that. I think, Bryan, you are definitely affected by reprojection, if I recall.
Dude.
Just it really knocking you, really ruining the experience for sure.
Yep.
That being said, having played the PC version, it was hilarious to see the exact same issues and glitches from the PC version in the PSVR 2 version. Like guys clipping through elevators when you go through it, and just these like it was like playing it again. It was like I was playing the PC version with all the same jank. I was like, what did they fix in the last year? They just ported the PC version exactly,
right.
And now they're trying to fix it because, Sony actually has a complete smart, whereas Steam, it's like, whatever. But no, I definitely on the list. I'd have to kind of go through and see what's on that list, but it's a game that I really enjoy. I enjoyed the quirkiness of it. The combat took a little while to get used to just because it is kind of like a little bit loose, but once you unlock a few upgrades for your guns, laser specifically, the game gets easier. It gets easier, but it also gets more fun in the process. So I think once you play for a little bit and get past those initial barriers, I think the game really opens up and becomes a better game. But it is definitely, I can see where initially it is kind of like a lot. But I like it. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, it is the most frustrating thing to me when I play a game and I'm like, oh man, this stutters constantly. The reprojection is horrible, right? And that ends up being a big part of my talking points and being like, this is why the game is really distracting for me. I'm in VR. I want to be immersed, and all I'm seeing is shadows of objects or just stuttering frame rates. And then people will say, yeah, no, I don't see that at all. It looks perfect over here. And it's insane to me that people's perception of things and people's eyes see things that differently, where a game is practically unplayable for me, but other people are like, it looks fantastic, which is happening right fucking now, by the way, with the Exorcist Legion VR on PSVR2. Okay? Because that game is pure stutter. It's just a nightmare for me. And like, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it right now until it gets patched because it's fucking horrible. So if you're like me and you notice this kind of stuff, you notice reprojection, you notice frame rate stutters constantly, then like, this is your warning. Like, do not purchase the Exorcist Legion VR until the developers fix it. I'm in constant contact with Funtrain, with VR Monkey, and they're like, yeah, no one over here sees it. It's driving me bananas. like I'm like, come on, how do you not see it? It's almost to the point where I'm like, you need to get somebody on the team who can see this shit, right? Like you need, because this is important. I don't know what the percentage of people are out there who are like me, and what the percentage of people who are like, everyone else. But like, you need somebody like me on the team. I don't want to be on the team, but somebody like me, just to be like, yeah, this is not fucking acceptable, right? We're gonna, maybe 30% of people out there are going to be like, I can't play this. This is horrible, right? So keep that in mind. That aside, the Exorcist Legion VR should be amazing if they can fix it. Because, dude, I jumped in there. Everything looks really good. It is super dark, which is great for a headset with amazing OLED panels like we have. It's super dark. It looks really clear, and so if they can just fix that one issue, I think we've got a winner on our hands. I don't know. You guys haven't jumped in and played the PSVR2 version, correct?
No, I couldn't get a code today. They're all out, so I tried to get one before just so we could talk about it, just so I could verify if you're, if it's just in your head.
If I'm crazy,
unfortunately, I couldn't. Yep. That being said, that was one of the prettiest looking games.
Yes,
it was a really good looking game on PSVR 1. So I guess you can speak to this more than I can, Brian. But is there noticeable improvement, or is it just an overall just because the headset's just so much better, the game just looks better? I'm kind of hoping. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like when I'm not moving, everything looks great. It looks really clear, and again, the lighting is incredible, right? We don't have to worry about like nothing's grayed out. Like it's almost to the point where I'm like, I've heard people say Madison is too dark. Actually, Brian,
that was me.
That was you. Okay, and so wait, I definitely want to hear about that in a second here because I haven't talked to you since we were both playing Madison simultaneously for review purposes, and so I haven't heard from you since like post review time. So I want to talk about that in a second. But like, but you weren't the only one. People have said Madison's too dark. If you think Madison's too dark, like The Exorcist is fucking darker. Like it's just pitch black in entire areas, and it's like, and I think that looks amazing in the headset, and is definitely going to impact the overall feeling you have when you're playing through it. If you're susceptible to horror like I am, if you're easily scared, like it's going to be horrible. They still have some time. They still have time to figure this frame rate thing out. And I've even sent them suggestions from Reggie Strange, who had a similar stuttering problem at the launch of Awesome Asteroids and figured it out. So fingers crossed, because man, you know me, I love fucking horror and I love VR horror, and I don't want this to be a blemish on the PSVR 2. I want it to be something that we can really be proud of and be like, yes, another great horror game. But it was a great game though back in the day, the original version. So I'm excited to see all they added a bunch of demonic things, like they said they added to the demons, and so I think there might be some new animations and new presences and stuff that show up here and there. And apparently the haptics are supposed to be incredible. I just can't play it long enough to find out.
Well, I was gonna be playing it Friday, but that can be delayed now until they fix it.
Yeah. Hey man, wait, you were gonna play it this Friday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that might be enough time. Luckily, we have till next Friday for it to come out. Is that right?
Yeah, so it could be a next week one. I've already done one horror game this week, if we call the Twilight Zone horror.
That's no good. That is no good.
We're not talking about it now, but it had interesting elements. In terms of, top 25 things threatening the top 25.
Oh, yeah, right. That's where this started. I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan, you guys should talk about Madison VR because that's clearly going to be on topic. So, Ryan, what did you make about
Madison VR is a great game, and I said it's too dark. The whole game wasn't too dark, and I very much appreciated the use of darkness. It was just that there were certain things where it would just seem silly. Like I remember looking at a closet, and it was just inside the closet, and I could see the front of the closet. I could see it. I could see this side of the closet. But for some reason, just the way the lighting was, like the way they did the lighting, this one wall was totally black, so I couldn't tell what was happening there, and it wasn't like it just felt like there was just some lighting hiccups in there that kind of just made some parts darker than they should have been. And I understand it gets supposed to be dark, and honestly, there was some of the I've never jumped more at a horror game period, let alone a VR horror game, than Madison. And I don't scare easy. I'm pretty dead inside, and Madison got me more than a few times, and I was impressed because I was like, this is scares done well and done right. And I think if anyone doesn't get scared in VR, like that's the litmus test for just where you're at, because I thought it was like the scares were fantastic compared to like Overdark, which I thought like Overdark had like the creepy house noises, which was I know they patched the game and dumbed down the noises, but it was like when you hear the same noise again and again and again, you just ignore it because you're like, okay, I've heard that board creak 1,000 times, I know it's nothing. Whereas in Madison, I never really knew what was ambient and what was actually like maybe that is something else, and that was great. That is amazing horror game design in my personal opinion. So no, Madison, I get 8.5, and my issues were I had a lot of issues with grabbing stuff, which once again I've heard they've patched. I had crazy issues. I whenever I have problems, I immediately text Bryan to be like, "Have you played this? What's going on?" Because I know he's played it or will play it shortly. Right. And I'm like, am I crazy? And yeah, Madison, I couldn't grab everything. It was just a struggle to grab, and it ruined. It really hurt my experience in the game because I get into a groove. I'm freaking out. I'm every corner I'm looking around, and I go, gotta grab this picture or grab this door. I'm like, grab. And then the one time I grabbed the door handle, my hand got stuck in the door. So I finally get the door open. My hand's stuck in the door. So I pull my handle of the door closes. I'm like, grab the door handle again. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is just, I feel like I'm playing a busted game at times. And like I said, to be fair, my understanding is they fixed or at least patched a lot of these issues. So they might be way less prevalent than what I had. Once again, it's kind of thing. Like, am I the only one that's playing this? Like, and Bryan said he had troubles, but it wasn't like it didn't sound as bad as what I was experiencing.
I mean, I did have a lot of troubles in my first playthrough, like grabbing door handles and be like, "What the hell?" And then my hands like went through a couple doors and like I was stuck in the door. And then and I was like, okay, well they patched it a bunch since my first playthrough. I'm gonna jump into the hard mode. Before I publish a review, and everything was fucking fixed for me, and I was like, this is great, everything works. And then of course the complaints started coming in at a post review and post launch that like people were experiencing some of the same problems I had my first time through, and I'm like, no, like that is so frustrating. Again, like the bugs are bugs because not everybody experiences them, right? And not everybody's going to experience them every time. So it is insanely frustrating doing this and hearing just like the ridiculous number of differing opinions based on shit that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, Madison, like I said, it's still the scariest walking simulator I've ever played. I know there's a little bit more than just walking sim, but typically walking sims do kind of bore me because if I can't defend myself, then it doesn't matter if I can live or die because it's like basically a scripted event. And I was actually cautious and scared, and that just doesn't happen for me in VR games. So I mean, all the props in the world to Madison for putting me in that headspace and keep me in there. So
I love the puzzles, man. Like I love the puzzles. I love the story.
Yeah.
I love the horror. Everything about this game appealed to me. So I never felt safe, which is like kind of what you're hoping for in a VR game or a horror game, at least.
100%.
I have a few games to list.
All right, let's do it, man. Let's do it. The floor is yours.
I'll just list them and then we can pick on the ones that we want to talk about. Right. So there's two. There's I think Legendary Tales is definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
That came out after our top 25 last time.
That's crazy.
Legendary Tales is absolutely amazing. So I had Legendary Tales, I had Madison, and then the 3 games I've got, one of them for me is going to be a strong, like, I'm going to fight for contender, which is Stilt. Stilt, I think, is a phenomenal game, a complete game with so many modes. And once you get into the flow of it, it's like this is like a platformer game made for VR, and not in the Astrobot sort of way. It's the challenge is the fact that you're using your arms to move around and traverse, and it feels good. And there's so many different mechanics. I mean, I'll start with Stilt for the moment. Ryan, have you played Stilt?
I haven't actually. I mean, I've heard good things. Look, I'm pulled in so many directions. I pick and choose one game a week to play if I do that. And I can't remember what came out that week, but I basically kind of made that choice. And I heard good things. I heard mixed after that. I heard really good, like, this is amazing. And then I heard meh. And so I haven't got around to playing it yet. I tend to be like a shark, and it's always moving forward. So it's very rare when I get to look back at a game. Playing Jurassic Park today was like, I very rarely go back in time just because there's always something up next. But still, definitely, it looked cool. I don't know. It's, I'm not gonna bash it. It's
no. I mean, you can say why it's not for you, because the thing is, it's not going to be a game for everyone. Absolutely, you know. And to be fair, when I started playing it, I was like, okay, I kind of see what they're doing here. And then once you get, it's one of those things of once you get to the groove, it's so satisfying because the precision of like getting those jumps right and just the flow of it. Yeah, but that's why my love for it grew and grew as you played more and more of it. But sorry,
I guess my issue is that I've played VR puzzles before, and jumping can be finicky, and so it was kind of the idea like they probably didn't quite nail the physics. I'm going to sit there and struggle, so I just kind of like pushed it aside and looked at something else. But like, I've heard good things. And like I said, you're just saying top 25, so maybe I'll have to give it a look.
Yeah,
the other thing they're doing with it, Ryan, is they're adding more to their multiplayer modes, and they're doing a lot more Fall Guy style. So one of the ones they've added is where you all start on the top platform, and every block you stand on disappears. So you and up to 7 other players are trying to see the last one remaining, and it's the most fun I've had in a long time in a multiplayer. Right. So if they keep adding party games like that, it's only going to make it go up in my estimation.
Yeah. So the social aspect of this, when you're all hanging there, you're just blobs with springs for arms, and you see each other in VR, you're shooting the shit, and it's just hanging out in that social space. I never say this about games, or I never say this about social spaces in VR games, because I generally don't give a fuck about them. But when you're just hanging out, like getting a game together, waiting for people to show up, and you're just boing, boing, boing. It's so dumb, but it's so much fun, and you're just shooting each other and hanging out. It's great, man. It's great. They took something that I thought was going to be really gimmicky, and made it into a very, very cool gameplay mechanic. And as Miles already said, they nailed it. They nailed the precision of it. So you can just like wildly, bounce around and be crazy, or you can go through it like a actual precision platformer, which it really is. It's great stuff. Yeah, top 10 for sure.
The other 2 games I've got are ones that are definitely considerations. Whether they end up in top 25 is yet to be seen. One of them is Breaches, which I don't think had been out since our last one. Breaches, they've added recently like a seasons mode now, so there's a bit of a competitive element to it. I don't play it a lot, and for that I suffer, because it's a game, if you haven't played it for a week, you're gonna just die straight away, because it's the whole thing of like one headshot with a pistol when you're down. So you'll just peek round a corner and that's it. And it requires a lot of communications and tactics. But it also came out not long after Firewall. And so it clearly succeeded off the back of, while we're waiting for Firewall to get their shit together with having multiplayer work and not waiting around, Breaches you could just go into and play matches. And even though obviously Firewall was a much more prettier game, Breaches was just like, all the word coming out from the quest was that it's a really good time. It had cross-play at launch, so you were always going to have people to play with. And although it, like a lot of cross-play games, has toxic elements with the voice chat, when you do play with nice people, it's a difficult, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, it's a VR game compared to Firewall 2, so that helps.
Yeah. Yes, as in not force like use eye tracking grenade throws.
Or button push door opens and stuff.
Oh my god! Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's just back in this wormhole of why that game's, why the studio went under, I guess, is really what happened there. Yeah. Poor Firewall.
Poor Firewall.
Poor First Contact.
Yeah, the last game I've got, which is definitely I'm going to be on my own with, like, even put in for a top 25 consideration. I think it was a PSVR game that got brought back to PSVR2, but it definitely had been improved, not just graphically, but I'm pretty sure they added some features as well. And it was Hotel R&R.
Yeah,
and Hotel R&R is like, they've basically taken sort of the fun sandbox elements that you always want to put people in as their first VR experience, but they've actually made a full-fledged game. And it's not just that it's got a full campaign. They have all these side modes, like just all these mini games that are good fun. They do have these sandbox modes. They have party modes. The interaction with the environments are amazing. And then also they have like tasks that you do to earn money to then buy new items to trash the hotel rooms with, and then you can upgrade them. And there's just so much to do. And I loved it on PSVR, and when I played it on PSVR2, I was like, oh wow, with proper haptic controllers and tracking and the sort of stuff that they've added. And I think it didn't have it on PSVR. It does have on PSVR2 a platinum trophy. I was just like, this feels like just such a full-fledged game. And Hotel R&R is one of my favorite PSVR2 games. Like, definitely a top 30 game probably.
amazing. I'll have to go back and play it again. Maybe I'll discover something else that I like about it, because I really enjoyed it the first time around. I didn't enjoy the later levels as much as I enjoyed the beginning levels, because the beginning levels are compact enough where it's easier to kind of create these chain reactions where you can start destroying the whole place easier. And then the later levels seem really more spread out. And something about that just didn't work for me. Maybe it's a situation where it's like I just need to get good at the game and realize like how to create these bigger, better chain reactions and destroy the whole place faster. But I just found playing and replaying the first like 3, maybe 4 stages so addictive that when I opened up the last few, I was like, these aren't as much fun.
I think they're a lot more fun on PSVR 2 just because you now have the thumbsticks to move around. That was a big frustration with the move controllers. It was an absolute pain. So because in the later levels it's definitely a lot of having to get across the room to get to the door as the cleaner's trying to get in. And whenever I've shown it to friends who aren't necessarily playing it but watching it on the social screen, when the cleaner or the manager's trying to get in and then you bop them on the head and they just get knocked out, just everyone's in hysterics every single time. Have you played it, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, it never grabbed me the first time. I didn't hate the game by chance, but it was just the loose. I don't know. It never grabbed me. That being, and you're not wrong though. The PSVR2 version is better because of the controls. It definitely plays like just a smoother experience overall. But yeah, I played the PSVR2 version, and it kind of still felt. It didn't, like I said, it didn't grab me the first time. So playing it again, it still didn't grab me. So it's fine, I guess. But for me myself, I think I need a little more substance in my game. I'm also like a single player campaign kind of guy too, so it isn't quite my jam in the first place. But not a bad game. Just definitely something I guess something to demo for somebody for sure. I would definitely put in the headset for that because that's easy. Smash things, go. Yeah. It's that easy. But yeah, for my own personal taste, it's all right.
Looper, the Underground Game Cat, right in the chat saying, "What about Genotype?" And Genotype is a solid fucking game, I'll say that. But where I am in the game, I couldn't judge right now. Right, I feel like I need to really see this one through to find out if the journey so far has been worth it, which is a weird kind of place to be, I think. Right, because you're like, well, what do you think of it so far? Like Stride, I only had to get halfway through the game to be like, this is fucking terrible, right? And but Genotype, I'm like, no, this is good. I just don't know where it's going. And so I don't know if it's like a 7 out of 10 or ultimately going to be a 9 out of 10. I have no idea. But so far so good. I really like what it's doing.
Yeah, I need to see it through to the end as well. I'm kind of like, I'm enjoying what I'm playing, but I'm curious to see how much it builds. It's that kind of thing of like, if it stays where it is at the moment, then it's going to kind of feel, okay, it's just more of the same. But
exactly.
If it opens up more and more, then it'll be interesting to see.
It's on my to-do list. I haven't played any version of that game.
Nice.
Let's take.
It's solid though. Yeah,
it is very solid. And they really cared about the PSVR2 port. So I'm interested in getting back to it. And 120 native, like just like it looks great. It's a quest port, and I think you can kind of tell it's a quest port. But this is just the best version of it out there. Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says, "Hi, Gamecats." Hey, Lilith. This Sunday multiplayer survey is posted in the Discord. Choose among Survive, Legendary Tales, in the Wizards Dark Times Brotherhood. Has Wizards been updated yet? Like, because they promised patches to fix it.
I think they did an update. Right. I still haven't played it. I'm actually live streaming it tomorrow, so I'll get to find out. Yeah, what were the updates for? Was there crashes, not crashes, or
I think just
optimization?
Mostly graphical updates and optimization, because it did not look good on PSVR2. Like, it didn't look good. It didn't play very well either. I was constantly doing, it's gesture-based spell casting. And so, like, it's just, you're like trying to, it's like, why do I keep casting the shield when I'm clearly not doing that motion? So, I don't know. But that game was actually a total letdown. And I think they knew it, which is why, it got announced and released all on the same day. And it was just like,
yep.
Yeah, you guys, I think everybody knew what was up with that. Man, I'd love to get back into Survive. Survive was such a good time.
I heard it's improved quite a bit in the last few months. Like, since it dropped, there's been big improvements, I've heard.
They're never going to fix the sewers, which is the downside. The sewers is like where everybody falls off, unless you've got a real committed team who's willing to work together and figure shit out and really push through. The sewers can be absolute torture. But yeah, guys, if you want to jump in and play some multiplayer games, that's what the Discord is good for. I mean, other than shooting the shit and hanging out all the time, go over there, and it's easy to find some games to play with people. Every Sunday, Professor Lilith organizes the multiplayer meetup, 2 p.m. Eastern, and you guys get to vote on what games you're going to play. So if you're interested in any of those 3, go over to the Discord, vote, and join us on Sunday. Thundercat with the £5 says, "Damn poly issues and big bills, that sucks, dude. More for the cause." Oh, damn Polymega issues and big bills. Yeah. Yeah, there was a part of me that was like, dude, I should just send it back and tell him it stopped working. But I was like, I don't know, man, I can't do that. So I just ordered another one. It's like, fuck it. What are you going to do? Thank you so much, Thundercat. Appreciate the support. Okay, let's get this name right. Q9. Kyo9. We're going to go with that. The $5 tip says, "How do you get rid of the green laser that you see when you have lenses on your VR headset?" What are you talking about?
Okay, good. I'm not the only one here. I was like, green.
I was looking to you guys going, I'll wait until they explain what they mean and then I'll jump in.
Oh, the green laser. You mean?
Dude, I've had lenses on my PSVR2 headset since, I feel like upwards of not a year now. It's been a long time though. And I've tried the Hans ones. I've tried the VR Rocks. I've tried the real optics. I've never seen green lasers.
Nope.
At all. I don't know what he could possibly mean. If you're seeing something with the lenses on that you're not seeing with the lenses off, that's
peel the protective plastic off, maybe.
Maybe. Wow. Green lasers. I don't know, man. I wish that there's 3 of us here and we are absolutely at a loss. So I apologize that we have 0 help for you, but I'll keep an eye on the chat in case you have any further explanations as to what that's all about.
I'm trying not to think about it anymore, but I just can't stop thinking of the
now you want to know.
Yeah, like, what have I missed that's so obvious that we're going to go, oh, of course, that's what the green lasers, yeah.
Yeah, you're taking the lenses off and like there's suddenly the lasers aren't there. Like, that's the big thing right there. Right? Funky Sloth in the chat says, "Bryan, can you get rid of those Office Space blinds for the love of God?" I had them open before we started the show, and I was just a big black silhouette. I got to work with my camera and figure out how to deal with all the backlighting. I'm sure there's options for that I just don't understand yet. He
looks metal AF.
I hate these vertical blinds, by the way. So I'm right there with you, Funky Sloth. Do not feel alone in your hatred of my Office Space blinds. Guys, there's a little bit of news to talk about this week. So let's kick it off, man. I'm always a little bit excited when Mighty Coconut announces anything for Walkabout Mini Golf. and they have indeed announced it for Walkabout Mini Golf. And we're gonna head over to our good friends at Upload VR to get the full news story. The headline reads from Ian Hamilton: Viva Las Elvis, Walkabout Mini Golf plus Elvis Presley course for 2025. It's not plus, plans. I can't read. You guys know this. I've developed a reading disorder. A reading disorder, not an eating disorder. Reading disorder over the years. Walkabout Mini Golf developers are planning a retro Las Vegas course inspired by Elvis Presley. Mighty Coconut is planning to release a course in 2025 inspired by Elvis Presley's connection to the original man-made escape from reality in the Nevada desert. Called Viva Las Elvis, Mighty Coconut is teaming up with a licensing partner, Authentic Brands Group, to bring the namesake's Vegas era into VR. We've been looking for a way to make a retro Las Vegas course, and the pop culture vibe of Elvis provided a unique way to come at the world building and gameplay mechanics, said Lucas Martel, creator of Walkabout Mini Golf and head of Mighty Coconut, in a prepared statement. Authentic Brands Corp has been a supportive partner in not only imagining a totally fictional space for people to mini golf and explore in Elvis's Vegas, but also to create custom Elvis avatars so players can start impersonating in-game. This kicks off a series of licensed avatar packs, including creatures from Jim Henson's Dark Crystal and Fraggle Rock, as well as a set from Exploding Kittens. A lot to unpack here, guys. We're not even done the article, but I think we got the most important parts of it. Fraggle Rock, Exploding Kittens, Dark Crystal, not planned courses. No, planned avatar packs.
Yeah.
So far, I've been pretty happy with the DLC that we've gotten for Walkabout Mini Golf. It comes out as very frequently, and it's usually high quality, and it's very cheap. It's usually it used to be $3 a course, now it's $4 a course, and the quality is almost always there. So, what do you guys think of A, announcing an Elvis course that's not due out till 2025, and B, kind of doubling down a little bit on DLC and saying, well, we get these avatar packs that you're also going to be charged for. They're $2 a pop, right? Nothing crazy. But some of these avatars used to come with, or some of the cosmetics used to come with the courses. What do you guys think of this change and the announcement of the Elvis course? Start with Ryan.
I mean, I don't care about the Elvis course, but Walkabout doesn't make they make good quality stuff, so I don't really care what it is. I'll play it. I mean, it's more Walkabout. I don't, unless the theme is like offensive, I'm down. So sure, Elvis. It's funny because you cut off the article. The one thing I questioned was just like, what's the music going to be? I mean, it is an Elvis track, and the end of the article it basically says we don't know where the music's going to be is in regard to this DLC, because you can't. I mean, you can't. But having an Elvis course and not having some sort of Elvis songs playing seems bizarre. But that being said, I'm sure Elvis isn't the cheap license to get. So, but I mean, it's more Walkabout. I'm happy with that. As far as the avatars go, look, they're optional avatars. You want to pay for them? Great. Charge whatever you want. If people want to pay for them, fantastic. If they don't, it's optional. So I'm all for optional DLC. Yeah. Like when it comes to cosmetics, whatever. You can throw as much stuff in there as you want. It doesn't affect me if I don't want to get it. I'm not jealous if someone has like a Fraggle Rock avatar. But if someone wants it and it's there for them, great. More money in their pocket and more money to do more Walkabout.
Yeah, I share a lot of that sentiment. I mean, for me, never been a huge follower of Elvis, but the great thing about Walkabout Mini Golf is the spirit of the game. I find that when I play IPs that I'm not familiar with, I still feel taken into that world, and I'm still pleasantly surprised. And the thing I've always held in the highest regard for Walkabout Mini Golf is it's not just for those that haven't played it, and if you haven't played it, you definitely need to get the game. It's not just their mini golf courses with a different skin on them. Like, the designs of the courses are around the themes. They're so cleverly done, and so they all have a very distinctive feel. And so the Elvis one, Las Vegas, definitely interested. In terms of the licensed avatar packs, now, if it was just like the Jim Henson's, the Dark Crystal and Fraggle Rock, they haven't had maps yet, so that would make sense. But the fact that Elvis, you're having to pay for the licensed avatar packs, unless they're saying you can buy it separately or you get it with the map. Do you know what I mean? But the idea that you buy the map, and normally you would get some stuff with it, as Bryan was saying, you'd get it free. Well, now you've got to pay on top of it. That feels a bit meh. But overall, I think having cosmetics that you can buy for and support the game even more, I think is great. Like stuff that does, it's not pay to win. It's just all about cosmetics. And so that kind of works. And I've always wanted them to expand on that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's great.
I mean, I'm not much of a cosmetic person, I'm certainly not spending tons of money in Fortnite or anything like that. But I mean, I have a strong love for Fraggle Rock. One of the greatest TV shows, at least according to 7-year-old Bryan. I have no idea how well that show aged or if it's any good today. But I love Fraggle Rock as a kid. So if a couple bucks if the avatars are cool. I mean, I'm down, man. I'm down, and it's supporting a good cause too, right? Like it's Mighty Coconut. These guys make a great game. They always make great content. So I'm totally down. I may actually splurge when it comes to that. And I'm kind of with I'm kind of with you guys when it comes to Elvis. I don't have a lot of interest in Elvis or even Vegas, but I'll buy every single course that comes out because I love it. Even though I agree with Distracted in the chat, says I'm already struggling to keep up with the courses. I'm not one to pay for cosmetics in a game that isn't free to play. That's my take. I agree with you about struggling to keep up with courses. Once upon a time, when PSVR 1 was pretty much dead and we were just fucking using our quest for Walkabout Mini Golf, I spent a lot of time in Walkabout Mini Golf, for a year or two leading up to the PSVR 2 release. And so every new course was a reason to celebrate, right? Because it was we're playing this constantly. We're playing it for hours every single week. We're playing every single new course. We're learning the ins and outs. We're learning how to get holes in ones. We're finding all the hidden balls and unlocking all of the clubs with the fox hunts. And it was like an event. And then it just started piling up and being like, I haven't played the last 2 or last 3. And then you get in and you play the Venice one time, or you play the Eiffel Tower one time, right? And it's just and so that's kind of where I'm at with Walkabout right now. It's almost like, and I'm not complaining, but it's coming out too frequently for me to keep up with and be excited about each release. Although I know there will be a time in my future where I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend a lot of time with Walkabout, and I'm going to be really happy that all these courses are here.
Yeah, my relationship with Walkabout Mini Golf is a new one comes out, I will play the regular course, play a proper match, then find all the missing balls. Then I will play the hard mode, but not the actual course. I will just do the riddles to get the club. And then I'll be like, right, I'll come and play the hard mode another time. And then I never come back to it until the new course is out. But again, we're very different to a lot of gamers out there, playing all the games we can. If I was a more casual gamer, then I'd probably spend a lot more time in it. But I realize that's why I'm not that good at the game, because I'm not really playing it multiple times and trying to get under par. And I definitely need to start playing Walkabout Mini Golf and going back on a lot of courses that I've not really had the chance to just enjoy for what it is. But there is a lot.
Way. Same as you. I dip my toe in, play a round or two, and then duck back out. And then, someone's like, hey, you want to play Walkabout? Like, yeah, sure. Come back in for a round, duck out. Very casual, but like I said, every time you come in there, it's one of those games. If you own any VR headset that can play Walkabout, buy Walkabout. It's that simple.
Samson143 VR with the $5 tip. I want to talk to Samson, you guys. Did you know that?
You want to talk to Samson?
I want to talk to Samson. He says, starting late. Did someone need me to fly them to the moon? Like that bitch Alice Cramden. To the moon fun. Thank you so much, Samson. Much love. Here, I'm gonna heart I'm gonna heart the green laser tip as well, even though I still don't understand. I've been trying to keep up with the chat and see if there's been any clarification. It sounds like we still don't really understand what the green lasers are.
I have to apologize. I have to duck out. I have to urinate.
Oh,
I can't hold it.
Right.
I'm dying, boys. I'm dying.
Bring the camera. We need to we need to branch out and find a new audience.
Then this gets blocked.
Yeah, we'll go down swinging.
Yeah, I can't find anything about the green laser thing.
Dead pixels tend to be locked at green. So I'm wondering if somehow maybe he has a dead pixel, in like the whatever magnification is happening with the VR lens specifically, maybe creating a streak or something that looks like a laser. I don't know, man. This is all I got. This is the only suggestion I could possibly have. I'm
definitely getting to a point where I'm wondering what to do with my PSVR2 because my lenses are definitely worn.
Your actual lenses.
Yeah. Because when I use my Quest 3, I'm like, oh wow. And actually, I tried someone else's PSVR2 that was brand new, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how it looked when I first got it. And it is just the fact that I've used it so much and wiped it probably way too much, cleaning it and stuff. But the annoying thing is, if you want to get new lenses, you got to send the full kit away. So yeah.
Well, you should have had protective lenses on it all the time. You know how annoying it is for someone to be like, well, you should have done this. Like when we crashed, when we crashed earlier in the show, Ryan was like, "You shouldn't have updated OBS," and I'm like, "Fuck you, Ryan."
but protective lenses, can you just get like regular? They're not just prescription lenses.
Yeah, the real optics ones without a prescription were on back order forever. I do believe they're back in stock now. But yeah, if Real Optics doesn't have them, then VR Rock probably does, and you can use AJ's promo code.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat saying, "Yeah, feel you." Mine's beat up pretty bad, and the reality is, when I think of the hundreds of hours I've got out of it, it's like I've used it way more than the average person, and also the way I use it is not the average because it's not like I'm playing one game for a long period of time. I'm dipping and diving into different experiences, so each time you're moving it. But yeah, I was a bit annoyed that Yeah, it's not.
Do you notice it when you're playing a game, or is it just when you're putting it on, you're like, oh god?
I think once I get into the game and that, I'm fine. But it's like when I first put it on, it's just there's a bit of a shine on it. And I clean my lenses with two tools. I use the microfiber cloth, but I also use a lens pen, which is it has the brush on one end and then the other end it's like carbon. And I think I've just maybe used it too hard on it. I don't know. The reality is these things get worn after a while. After use, they're not invincible, and that's why those protective things are a good shout. So if I ever do get a new one, that is definitely what I will be replacing it with. The thing I wanted to ask Bryan was about the Walkabout mini golf, the Venice one. Have you played it, and what do you think of it?
No, I have not. Said it's funny because the trailer was playing, so I immediately said, "Oh, I jump in and I play the Venice course once, and then I play the I think the last one I played was the Eiffel Tower one, Around the World in 80 Days,
which is amazing.
It's great, it's wonderful, but that's again,
it's one of my favorites still.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. I just love the depth perception, the fact they've actually built a real city around you, so when you're moving, you get a real sense of that height. I think it's phenomenal.
Have you played the Venice one?
Yeah. The Venice one I would put in the same category as what was the I was going to say the Nordic one with the big tree, and it was the very simple Nilheim, is it? Oh, I've just completely Elfheim, thank you.
Is that right?
It feels like one of those courses, which it's great. It feels like a sort of a safe, like a nicer. I mean, the environments are absolutely spectacular and beautiful. But it just kind of feels like you get the ups and downs. You get the super maps, like the Ice Layer actually was the one before that, which was, massive and ambitious and stuff.
And was insanely creative.
Yeah, incredible. But I think the next one's probably going to be the Wallace and Gromit one, which is just going to be incredible. Like such a great British institution, and the whole Wallace and Gromit, I think, lends itself well to Walkabout mini golf because it's all about contraptions and quirkiness. And, we talk about everyone should get Walkabout mini golf if you have a VR headset. Walkabout mini golf, I think, is just going to be one of those games that in like 5 years' time is just going to be one of the all-time greats that is still evolving. Arguably, I think, could possibly more so than Beat Saber. Like, Beat Saber's going to keep getting packs, but the core gameplay is pretty much the same. The thing about Walkabout Mini Golf is they are constantly adding new sort of features in it. I would like to see them expand on the social components and maybe add some different things, but I also know that they just want it to be a game that you jump into and chill with. But I do feel that the Walkabout Mini Golf, the IPs that they can team up with, sky's the limit. You know, one day they might do it wouldn't surprise me if Walkabout Mini Golf in the next 5 years does a Star Wars one. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're that good that they could do it.
It has that casual appeal. You mentioned Beat Saber, and I think Beat Saber, I mean, it's still like the #1 selling VR game of all time. But I do think the love for Beat Saber has kind of died off a bit. I mean, at least these new packs, and it doesn't seem like the care is there from everybody like it used to be. I mean, I'm sure the last pack, what was the last pack? It was the 90s pack. I don't remember the pack.
It was the rap one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like it didn't seem it was like yay more, but then it goes on where it just seems like people just care more about Walkabout stuff. It's just that casual appeal, like you said. I think that will last the test of time. Whereas Beat Saber, especially Beat Saber, you start to get like higher difficulties where it's like now it's a challenge, now it's work. Whereas this is just like, dude, it's mini golf. Like, check out the scenery, have some fun, hang out with friends, like, and it's a good time.
And Walkabout Mini Golf is every level is distinct. Like, you genuinely feel like this pack, what world are they transporting you to? And you just look around with complete awe of like all the little jokes they put in there and the environments and the music. And it's just, whenever I show people Walkabout Mini Golf, I'll show them like 1 or 2 courses. I'm like, this is barely scratching the surface. Like, you've seen these 2 amazing tracks, but they're all brilliant. But yeah.
All right, guys. There is a new game that's been announced for PSVR2, and I'm
another British
sure.
You can tell us. Miles can talk about this. This is good.
Oh yeah, you think Miles?
I didn't realize it was. I didn't realize it was coming to PSVR2 because I saw it advertised for Quest and that, and I was like, oh, not PSVR2.
Yeah,
it got delayed for Quest too.
So it's Taskmaster VR for anyone who's in suspense right now and being like, why is Miles a professional on this? I've never heard of Taskmaster ever. It was actually eye-opening when I went to download the trailer for the show, and I went to the Taskmaster YouTube channel, and they had like 1.4 million subscribers, and I was like, whoa, this is a bigger game than I thought it was. And then I found out, because of the YouTube channel, that this is a reality TV show or game show. Is it only in the UK? Is that why I haven't heard of it?
No, so it is international, and I don't know if it's in America yet. I know it's in various countries, but just to quickly explain, like the TV show. So you've got Greg Davies, who's this massive British comedian who is the Taskmaster, and he has his little mate, little Alex Horne. And the funny thing is, Alex Horne is like over 6 foot as well, but he's just called Little compared to Greg. And Alex was the guy that actually came up with the show idea. And so we have something in Scotland every year called the Edinburgh Fringe. It's where all comics go and perform their comedy shows. And he came up with it as a stage show, pitched it for TV, and it just blew up. And it is amazing. And the way that Taskmaster works is on the TV show is they have like, I think 5 different contestants who are TV personalities. And what they've done is over a series of months, they have been given a load of tasks to do where they will go to a place, they'll open up an envelope, and it might be, you've got to get this egg as far away from here as possible, but you can't touch it. Or so it's just really weird things that make you go, God, how the hell would you do that? And so the TV show every week is they have the 5 of them in the studio and they say, this was what the task was. And then they watch video footage of each of them trying to do the task. And it's hilarious because someone will absolutely smash the task. Actually, one of them was where there was this massive boulder and they were like, you've got to get it as far away from here as possible in the next hour. And so someone like literally was rolling it down the street. Someone else actually called a courier service and actually got it put into a van and got it like, and so there's this hilarity of like, what are the different ways and like who thinks outside the box. And based on those performances, the Taskmaster then gives points based on who were the best and who was the worst. And yeah, I assume there are episodes on YouTube. If you get a chance, definitely check it out because it's a great show where you're watching it going, oh, this is how I would do it. So the fact they've got a VR game where you're now going to get to do these tasks, the reality is this could be terrible. And it might be like, they've tried to ride on what was in the TV show. It doesn't have the same magic, but who knows? I'd like to be pleasantly surprised. So we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of creativity involved. And so like they'd have to be really, really flexible in the game to allow you to be really, really creative with the solutions for it to work the same way.
Exactly.
I don't know if I see that happening, but dude, I will say kind of as a side note here, everybody in the chat, there's a lot of love for Taskmaster. Like everyone, some people are, "It's the best show on TV. Like you need to watch it if you have." Like this is unbelievable that you guys or that we don't have this here, or apparently we had one. Barb Zarkov said the US version failed miserably. Unbelievable that something is such a phenomenon outside of the US that like literally had no idea about. So I'm gonna have to check this out.
Well, here's why I'm leery. Oh,
the last thing I was going to say was they just had the talent. They were on I think the Seth Meyers show, the late night show in America, promoting this game. So they seem to be doing a push in the US. So maybe there's an American series coming out soon as well.
So yeah, so I saw this trailer because it was announced for Quest and PC first, and it looked like a collection of mini games. So I pretty much immediately checked out because I was like, I've been there and done it 1,000 times,
right?
And I obviously have no idea what Taskmaster was, so I was like, all right, whatever. But it's also first time publisher, first time developer as well, which does not bode well either. That being said, if this franchise or this series is as big as it is, then hopefully it does kind of like how you described the show sounds fun. So if they can capture that magic and put that in VR, that sounds good. But now I'm worried what you described just sounds like the scope of the series might be a lot larger than the scope of the game. And then I go back to defaulting to just a series of mini games that meh. And watching the trailer right now, it looks like a series of mini games that meh. Right. But hopefully I'm wrong.
And that is it. And Bryan hit the nail on the head. I was trying to articulate it, but it's like if the main show is about the freedom to think outside the box, how do you now make that possibility in a VR game? Which it could be possible, but it's also possible that they're like, here's a popular IP, we'll just make a load of fun mini games and just plaster Taskmaster over it, and it's going to be for casual Taskmaster fans that it's their first time playing VR kind of thing as well. Mm-hmm. So it could go one of two ways. If they nail it, then I think this could be amazing because then it has replayability. If not, it's going to be a thing of I've played it once, okay, I'm not, I'm done. It's maybe someone else's turn to have a go. Yeah. Did any of you play the Fool Us VR game? Did that come on PSVR or was it just Quest?
The what?
Fool Us with Penn and Teller.
Oh,
they did like the magic game where you could trick your friends. Like that kind of is how I feel like it shouldn't really be done, which is where it's the IP on it and you play it once. You're like, okay, I've sort of experienced it. I didn't play it, but
it wasn't anything special. It was pretty weak.
It was also called something else here. It was called Penn and Teller's FU and you and you and you and you.
Yeah, that was it. That was the game. Sorry, yeah. Fool Us is the TV show, but the FU and
yeah, which was really rough. It was like it was for such a specific audience, people who wanted to fool their friends with VR, invite them over, and it was like kind of a one and done thing. It was like, this is
very niche-y.
I mean, like it's a niche inside of a niche inside of a niche. So I bet they sold like 7 copies total. So hopefully you get your physical version because it's probably worth something. Man. The Virtual Resistance with the level 1 membership says, just saw Masters of the Air. Need a bomber VR game. What is Masters of the Air? Why do I feel like I don't know anything today? At least I'm in good company.
I got nothing.
Masters of the Air. Hold on. It's a drama mini series starring Austin Butler, Apple TV. I canceled my Apple TV after Jon Stewart left. Who needs Apple TV now that Jon Stewart's not on Apple TV? Sorry, guys.
Bah, Apple.
Bah. Yeah. Also, Daily Show's been fucking incredible since Jon Stewart's been back. Like, it's the thing you didn't know you needed until you got it, and you're like, yes, life is good again.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, so good. I will totally take him being on the show one day a week rather than not at all. What are we up to here? Guys, I mean, the title of the video is what games have we been playing. We talked a lot so far about the games that we've been playing already, but there's some things I'd like to get caught up on. Miles, you were not on the show last week, and Ryan, I have not talked to you about Stride Fates since we both first started it up. Did you end up? Let me talk to Ryan first, Miles. Did you end up reviewing it? Did you put out a review for Stride Fates on your channel?
I put out a review, but it wasn't a full review because I couldn't play that game anymore. I quit. I was like, this is insane. This isn't fun. This is brutal. And at what point in time am I just punishing myself? Because I know what I'm going to say about this game. It's not getting better. It's only getting worse. I I like Stride. I like the first Stride game. I thought was pretty cool. It was obviously a smaller sandbox experience, but I thought the parkour was done well there. So you'd think, all right, parkour with an actual shooter campaign, fantastic. But the shooting sucks. It's so underwhelming. There was no haptics when I played. I was firing guns and nothing was happening. The fact that it's only one-handed weapons. I mean, you can do two-handed, but it's vestigial. Like this hand does nothing. So it's like Solaris all over again.
Wow. Vestigial.
It's
good word.
It's poor. And then the parkour stuff and the shooting stuff is so not in balance, in my personal opinion, that I could never get into a groove. And then killing these idiotic peons was just redundant. I thought some really obtuse gameplay choices. The first time I fought the boss guy, not a boss guy, just the guy in the armor.
Yeah.
Who can like just know where you are at all times and just blast you with lightning or whatever the heck it is, just so you have to keep moving. It's so stupid. But anyways, the game kind of made out like he was invulnerable. Like when I'm shooting him, it's like ping, 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 ping. I was like, all right, so I can't kill this guy by normal means. So I'm like trying to decipher. I'm like, well, is he by a container or a bomb? Like, how do I kill this guy? And I gave up. I mean, I shoot this guy. Everything. Ping, 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 ping. That typically tells you in a video game that's not working. It is working. Yeah. You're just going to do it enough.
Ryan,
so,
just to say, that was when I stopped my Let's Play live stream because I thought what you did, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be hitting to kill him. Like I assumed he was invincible, and I was like, I'm done working this out. I'll come back to it later. And then people after said, oh no, you are doing damage. Oh.
Yeah, and then so I went to a walkthrough because I was like, "What am I doing? Like, what am I missing?" Because I was like, I explored every single nook and cranny of this map looking for another weapon, anything. I'm like, "There's nothing here." Go into video, and the guy just walks up to him and shoots him in the face with a shotgun. I'm like, "What?" So to me, that was some very poor game design. And that kind of was really the whole game. The whole game to me was kind of poor game design. Of the two stages that crashed there, I talked to you about, Brian. They weren't not stages 3 and 4 like I thought. They're like these additional wave shooter stages.
That's DLC 1, if you can believe it. Like they were like, oh, you got DLC 1, but we're getting DLC 2 to you later on. And I was like, fine. Yeah, I was in the same boat. I thought that was stage 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. And yeah, like you said, these are side levels that they just kind of threw in. And that's what they're calling DLC. I was like, I could have done without the DLC. This is not good stuff.
Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible stuff. You literally it turns into an arena wave shooter, which is not any of the game's strengths. You're now in a confined space. You can't move anywhere. Like the first level, you're in like this like trash compactor, whatever the heck it is thing. You can barely run around except to like kind of hop over walls just to kind of like create a physical barrier so the guys have to come at you. And the other one is the stupid samurai Japanese house where, once again, it's so restricted and confined, you're not really parkouring anymore. You're just shooting, or God forbid, the melee, which is worse than Drunken Bar Fight in every way that matters. Like, Drunken Bar Fight can at least be stupid fun. This is just stupid. Man, the more I played Stride, the more I hated it until I finally quit, because I can't remember where I stopped. I was just done. I was just done with it. And I put a review that basically said, this sucks and I can't finish this. I don't want to finish this. Good for you if you like it, but I'm out. See, was my review.
There was enough, and I want to let Miles have a chance here, but I need to get this off my chest. There was enough good stuff happening when I was in the outdoor levels and I was ziplining across and shooting while ziplining and, just climbing and when there is parkour to be done, it was fun enough. Right, but dude, you get to a point in the game where they like literally say, "Oh, you're not allowed to jump anymore," and then you're not allowed to use weapons just fucking randomly, and then you can't do the parkour stuff. It's like they took anything that was actually good about the game, stripped it out, just so you could see how bad the core mechanics were. Right, as like they unintentionally were like, "Hey, we're just going to take off our clothes and show you how fat we are." That's like that's how I felt about Stride Fates halfway through. I was like, you've taken all of the good stuff out and forced us to deal with the bad stuff. So at a certain point, it's just bad game design. And I think that's what we're dealing with here. So when people are like, oh, none of these problems are on Quest. Yes, they fucking are, because that's the game. Stride Fates is not a good game. It's got major problems from a gameplay perspective, from a game design standpoint, that is going to be across all platforms. So don't fucking tell me that it's awesome on Quest 3. Okay, because it's the same fucking game. Play it longer and then get back to me. Right? I did the same thing you did. I was like, I cannot stand this anymore. I couldn't play it for more than 45 minutes at a time because I wanted to tear my hair out. I was like, this isn't fun. This is awful. Sorry, I'm done. Go ahead, Miles.
Yep. Your turn. You're up.
Right.
I liked it, says Miles.
Right. This is great so far.
I actually was very frustrated from the get-go, and then as it started going along with the first level, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like the feel of this. But I've only got up to that boss, and that was when I got frustrated and I quit. And I think when I spoke to you, Bryan, about it, you said that like you liked what it had to offer to begin with, the promise of it. Actually, I think you said it on my Let's Play. You were like, "Oh no, this beginning stuff, like it had me engaged." I thought the melee combat was hilarious. There was. I'm surprised there haven't been more highlight clips of me, especially with my quest for empathy branding, and it's just me stabbing people in the eyes with knives and shit, and like
I was stabbing everyone in the ass. That's
right. I like knocked a guy out, and then I put his head on a table, and then a breeze block just smashed the back of his head. Like that stuff was hilarious. But like, how long's that going to kind of last? And then there were moments where, like, in the corridors inside, I would be like running across the wall while shooting them with double pistols, and stuff like that felt badass and really cool. But there's a lot of stop starting, isn't there, with like the changes of environments. The whole point about parkour is like the sense of flow and speed, and I kind of feel like this game would have benefited if a lot of it is, it's not just about clearing out a room, it's about keep moving. Sometimes you're going to take out enemies, sometimes you aren't. But I also just had a major issue with checkpoints when you died. There was one, the assault rifle I lost out on because I killed sort of the mid boss that gives you it, and then I died a bit later. It then spawned me like just ahead of where the boss was, but he was alive again. So I killed him and then moved on, but then he dropped the gun, which I didn't have anymore, and so I didn't have it for the rest of the match. And so there's just a lot of weird game design choices, and I also think the game, it feels like a quest port. It shares a lot of the issues I had that they worked on Dead Hook, didn't they? Mm-hmm. When I played Dead Hook, I was like, this game could look a lot sharper in the headset. It has that kind of slightly washed out look, which I thought was really, really disappointing. So there are elements in this that I think are really, really good, but the overall package, I don't feel very inspired to keep going. But I am going to go back to it just to see what happens for the next few levels, because I have been enjoying it up to that point. But then when I was looking at how many levels there are, from what you guys are telling me, it seems that it doesn't really go many more steps forward. If anything, it goes backwards.
Yeah, Ryan, so quickly, what level do you know? You haven't beaten the game, right?
I did not beat the game. No.
Do you remember what level? I now remember why I stopped playing. Do you remember the level you stopped playing on?
No, but maybe you can clue me in. Maybe I stopped.
So the level I stopped playing on was, I think it was level 5 or 6. No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. The level basically you break into like a server room, and you have to like keep pushing this disc into a computer.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was another wave shooter level, and you had to keep pushing the disc back in the computer, right?
Yeah, and then so I died. And of course, there's the only checkpoint in the wave shooter level is the beginning of the wave shooter. Oh, that's not true actually. In this one, it was though. So you have to restart, go up there, do it again. I managed to power my way through multiple cheap deaths because enemies will spawn behind you randomly. They just spawn. They just appear. It's awesome. And then I finally got to the end of that where my thing 100% loaded, and all of a sudden the room just starts exploding.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I remember then I saw the arrow telling me where to go.
The little waypoint.
I was like, oh shit, make it to the arrow. Explosion's dead. And I was like, I'm done, because it's half an hour to get to that again, just to die, and it's not fun to begin with, and I'm out and I'm done. Yeah, that's where I quit.
Yeah. Oh man, well you missed out on some great times, some great puzzle solving. Dude, I mean, listen, I love when there's a blend of, action and puzzle solving and whatever, in games. I like when it feels full-fledged and they just threw everything in there. I don't think Stride is necessarily a game that needs puzzles, and there's a lot of fucking puzzles in this game. In fact, I feel like the further you get, the more puzzles they throw at you. I was in a room like late past where you're talking about, where you're solving puzzle after puzzle after puzzle, and then they're like, find this thing in this room, and there's like 1,000 drawers you have to open. That's all it is. That's all you're doing is just opening drawers for 5 minutes straight. And of course the grab detection, grabbing onto the correct thing is so poor in Stride that you're opening like 1,000 drawers and struggling to open all of them to find the goddamn key card. It's a mess. Listen, I really hope. I don't think they're going to, but I really hope Joyway spends the time on the PSVR2 version and gets it to a point where it's like polished at least, right? Where you're not just grabbing shit accidentally, where you're not struggling just to do the basic things in the game. But even then, they're not going to redesign the whole game, right? So I feel like even if it was a super polished version of what it is now, it's still like a 6.5 out of 10 at best, right? And that's assuming that it gets better after the boring parts that where they force you to be stealthy and don't allow you to do parkour and don't allow you to use the jump button and like all this other crap. Don't allow you to use guns. It's just dumb. I'm so glad there's a lot of support in the chat because like I'm always, dude, this game should have been fucking great. It should have been so much fun. And I was getting nervous when I'm like, oh man, I gotta shit on a game that we're all looking forward to. The same way I get nervous when I have to give it when I give a 10 out of 10 to something, right? I'm like, oh man, I hope most people are in agreement here. You know, it's always the hope because you don't want to disappoint people or you don't want to steer people wrong ever. But yeah,
that's a mistake, Brian. You should be just give everything 7s and then let them decide.
Yeah, right.
I hate when that happens too. Like back to back games, like 7.
Yep.
So now, fuck. Am I just being safe here now? What am I doing wrong? Like,
I should give the next game an 8 just because I gave too many 7s. Yeah. Oh man. Time to play VR says I just want to run and jump. Unfortunately, you don't even get to do that in all of Stride. They don't let you run or jump at a certain point.
And the running was so slow in that game too.
Wait, what was that about?
It's just this never-ending thing. Like, just like it was like, how do you? Let's like take Mirror's Edge and then just really mess that up. Oh, that too. I mean, give me a run button. Give me a run button, please, for the love of God.
Listen, at least it wasn't like Stride was on PSVR 1. Like I definitely tolerated some issues with Stride on PSVR 1 and liked it way more than this. But I didn't mind swinging my arms. What I did mind on PSVR 1 was hitting the X button and lifting both arms to jump, right? At least you don't have to do that anymore. So for me, this was a massive improvement. But yeah, the run speed, I'm like pushing forward and doing this. And I'm only like, man, this is, I've gotten fat, right? IRL, I've gotten fat. I could run faster than the main character does in Stride. Right now, I couldn't climb as much.
Easily.
Yeah. It's like, speed it the fuck up, dude. This is an action game. Like, let's run faster. What are they scared of?
You just reminded me of the other big issue I had, which was with the running. So running with the arms, doing this, the way I had to run was like this.
Oh, I saw this on the stream. I was like, what is wrong with Miles?
Yeah, that was the only way I had to run like that. So I was going round, just, going, hello, everyone. It was like Team America. You know, the fight scenes in Team America, where they're sort of doing that? That was the way I had to fight.
I'll keep going though, but the running is unnecessary. It doesn't change your jump distance. It doesn't actually matter what you do with running. It's just there for show. Because if you hit the jump button, you still jump just as far as if you weren't running. If you do a wall ride, you go just as far. It just ugh.
There we go. That's the quote. Ugh.
Hey, I mean, we're talking the box quote guy here as we speak. I mean, Ryan is box quote guy. So I really hope
PSVR2 games though, and unfortunately that well seems to have run dry. Sadly.
Oh,
womp womp.
Well, that's sad. Not that Stride Fates is getting a physical release, but if it ever does, I definitely want one of these quotes on the back of the box.
Blah.
What else have you guys been playing? Anything good? In VR?
Miles, I'll let you. We've been talking a lot here. I keep feeling like Miles isn't doing enough.
Oh no, I feel like I go on really long random rants. So
I'm gonna pick you guys' brain then. So before I started, I told you I was playing early on. I was playing that Jurassic World Aftermath game, where the hell's called.
Oh yeah.
How long is that? Like, there's more. Because it's with the DLC. How long is the first game? Like, I played for like 35 minutes, and it was like a cheat or trophy. I'm like, what? This is like, if I do anything in this game, I'm getting a trophy. And it kind of felt, and just every trophy is a movie quote from like the original Jurassic Park. So I'm like, man, I'm cruising through like it's a highlight reel of movie quotes, and like it just feels like I'm gonna be that game like an hour. Like it doesn't feel very long.
I think I'm 3 hours in. I haven't reviewed it or done a Bryan bite or anything like that for it because I haven't finished it yet. Stride is the one I'll make an exception for. But yeah, man, like I think, like I said, I think I'm 3 hours in and I've been pretty much bored the whole time.
Yeah, man, it's super linear. Like as a stealth game, it is so linear. It's like, all right, like, I feel like I'm painting by numbers right now. I like, it's dinosaurs in VR. the cartoon visuals do kind of hurt it. That cell shaded art style,
big time.
I typically like that in VR because that typically pops,
right?
And I guess it does here, but it doesn't do anything in here justice because I feel like I'm looking at a cartoon version of things I've seen on TV that look 1,000 times better.
How are you going to be scared? How are you going to be scared of a cardboard cutout of a dinosaur?
Yeah,
you're not.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yep.
I had the same problem with Stranger Things in VR actually, which is still coming to PSVR2, I believe, at some point in time. But that was not good. That was a rough game, and the best part about that was the mixed reality stuff, which I'm assuming won't be in the PSVR2 version.
Yeah.
Which means, I mean, unless you're a hardcore Stranger Things person, like that was not a good game. Ooh. And once again, the cell shading, that's what I was saying. The cell shading hurt the entire experience because nothing's scary because I've seen this guy on Netflix and he's this Vecna, the big bad guy, doesn't matter who it is. And then you see the cartoon version of him. Well, he looks like the Disney Infinity version of the live action guy. So, well, this isn't scary anymore. Now he's just a cartoon character. So yeah, that definitely, for me, this is the first time that visual style has actually hurt a VR experience. So it's been disappointing, I guess, a little bit. And yeah, very, very painful. You go here, press button. Go here, open puzzle. Go here, open door. And there's no options. And even the stealth mechanics, it's like, well, you basically like trigger this thing to get past it. Then trigger. There's only like one or two things to trigger, so it still isn't like it's not freeform. You're not like you basically know where to go the second you get to a room. So it's definitely not impressing me like I was hoping it would.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I guess my expectations were still kind of low, and they're still kind of not meeting those. So. Kind of unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah, I like the opening of it. I do like the art style, but in terms of the survival horror elements, the Velociraptors are just a lot less scary in that style. And it was cool being in the environments, but like you, I didn't feel the need to keep going on because of the linear thing. It's like, okay, and now it's another room. There's another room, and it's all just more of the same. So yeah.
When we were setting up for the show, did I hear you guys saying that you were both playing Ultimate Swing Golf on Quest?
He was. I was actually. Oh, I was talking about I forget Everybody's Golf. What the heck's it called now? I forget. Is it Ultimate Swing? No. It's Ultimate Swing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking Golf Plus. My brain just went haywire.
It's all right.
Yeah. Ultimate Swing is fantastic. If you've played Everybody's Golf,
I don't want to hear that.
This is that with multiplayer, which was the absolute killer for the PSVR version in the first place. So yeah, in that regard, it's great. And it actually looks really good on the Quest. It looks surprisingly comparable to the PSVR version of the game.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like I said, there's actual blades of grass on the ground. Like it looks, I'm not gonna say it looks amazing, but it looks on par with the PSVR version. And that's a good thing. And like I said, it's called to multiplayer, and I think it's gotten rid of the creepy dating aspects that they have in the middle.
That's horrible.
They're still there. It's still the annoying caddies, and they're still like, oh, good. Like it's still a little annoying that way. But besides that, it does seem like they kind of tame down that side of thing, which I assume honestly was like a Quest requirement. Honestly, Meta, I think. But I have no idea. This is pure conjecture, but I feel like they're pretty harsh on games that are kind of over-sexualized, anything like that. I never really see that stuff on the Quest platform compared to other platforms. So I feel like Meta has some restrictions in play. They're like, no, you can't date your caddy and creep on her. Like, get rid of that. I could be wrong. It's my conspiracy theory.
So I had to hear you guys talk about this, and I want to hear as much as you're willing to talk about, because obviously, Everybody's Golf VR on PSVR 1 was great. Needed some multiplayer, needed some more courses, needed some more love, big time. And it just, like, I'm not jealous so much about the Batman VR game that's going to be on Quest by Camouflage. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm way more jealous that this game is over there, that Sony didn't hold on to Clap Hands developer the way they should have, and that somehow this isn't Everybody's Golf VR 2 for PSVR 2, right? It is really irritating to see this happen, right? Yeah. I'm not jealous, right? Because I can grab my Quest and I can play this game, but like just looking at like what Sony's doing and the developers they're letting slip through their hands and get away from them in the games that they should be creating, they're not creating, and they're creating the games they should be creating, but for another platform. It's like, this is just, it feels like Sony's blunder. This doesn't feel like this just makes me angry that Sony's not doing what they should be doing and talking to developers they should be talking to. Why isn't Impulse Gear making Farpoint 2? Like, these are the questions, everybody's asking and we have no answers for. I am glad that Clap Hands is still making VR golf games though. So there's that. Miles, did you get a chance? You said you got a chance to play this too?
So I've only played the tutorial. The reason I actually got it was I totally forgot that this was the game that by the developers that had moved from everybody's golf. But I actually bought it because I've had my Quest 3 for maybe a month now, and I've been really into the mixed reality stuff, trying it. And there's a few mixed reality games I've played that have just blown my mind. And this has a mixed reality mode where you can be in your living room and one side just like the wall is gone and you've got the driving range, which is a super cool thing. So I tried it out. I'm curious to play it because in the tutorials, I've found it really hard to hit the ball. I've been terrible. Whereas I've been playing Golf Plus on Quest 3 and I've been absolutely loving it. And as a social experience of going around a proper golf course with friends and all the mini games and stuff like that. I never played Everybody's Golf on PSVR. So obviously that didn't have multiplayer. But I just want more of these social experiences. It's definitely a magic that comes with a lot of VR. So I'm looking forward to playing some multiplayer with some people on this.
I mean, there's always the chance for a port too. We don't know. I mean, Claphands isn't owned by anybody. Sure, we very well could see that. And then this could be one of those cases where Quest 3 first, and then maybe PSVR down the line. I know there's a lot of we talked about it before, but just the general feeling of the PSVR2 and its success and like where it's at. And I think a lot of developers were kind of like, like they didn't really want to pull the trigger or anything because the word out there is like this thing's dead, right? And some developers, that's literally what they use for news is like, what do I hear on social media? And so if they hear, people are saying PSVR2 is dead, they're just like, wow, that's what I heard, and that's as far as it goes. So with luck, with time, like I said, hopefully Claphands does port this over, and it would be a really good port. And especially if it's supported cross-platform multiplayer, then everybody wins. But yeah, it definitely does feel weird to have played Everybody's Golf and obviously all the previous Claphand games on PlayStation and now have it to be on Quest. It definitely felt weird because it definitely felt like I was only here not too long ago on the PlayStation, and now we're on Quest. But that being said, if you have a Quest 3, it's a pretty good golf game. If you suck at golf like myself, I think the aim assist kind of helps you out there. But if you're good at it, according to Chris, who plays golf, he says the game does recognize skill, and you can feel that as well. So I think it's a nice balance between serious players and casual players that can make the game fun for everybody. So it's solid. The only thing, the problem with the game, not problem, but to unlock more courses, you have to complete tasks, and those tasks can be quite arduous, and take hours and hours and hours of time to actually get. Which is what I hate. Content locking like that. I love it. I love feeling rewarded for playing the game, and even if it takes hours, be like, yes, I've spent so much time with these courses or these caddies or these avatars, right? And so now finally I've unlocked something else. It just reminds me of how games used to be, and you feel like you get your value for the money. I don't want everything unlocked from the get go. So I don't mind that. I just mind the amount that's here. Just seems like. It seems like a little bit too much in my personal opinion. I haven't played a ton, but you definitely got to play a lot of the same courses over and over before you get there. And it's fine. It's golfing. It's usually good. But for me, it's a little bit too much, I guess. Gotcha. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. And we should probably stop talking about this before everyone's like, see, they took PSVR out of the title of the out of the channel, and now they're just going to talk about all VR. Look, they're doing it already. Look at them. Look. It's Everybody's Golf related. We tried. It's happening. I could segue to another game I've played. Talk to me. Doesn't have multiplayer, but I would love it to, and that was Cube VR, which has been out for a while now. I played it when it first came out, but I played it just before a GAMESCAST, but then I played it for a Let's Play last week. And when I first played Cube VR, I felt, okay, this is like Minecraft. That's incredibly pretty to look at, 8K textures. It looks absolutely stunning, but it feels kind of empty. But when I did my Let's Play and got a bit deeper into the game and followed the tutorial, which is basically the quest line throughout the game, I was just loving it more and more. And whether it's going to stick the landing all the way through is yet to be seen, but this is an absolute stunning game. There are some really cool VRAF elements in it. For one, you build a furnace, and I was and in the top of the furnace you put the iron ore cubes, and in the bottom you put the coal. And I was putting the iron ore cubes in the top of the furnace, and the cubes were just like lying there.
And I kept picking them up again because I'm expecting that when you put them in, they slot into place. And it turns out, no, you just place them and they just lie there. And then you put all the coal in the bottom and then you get some grass. You use flint. The coal starts burning and heating up. And then you see the cubes in the top melting into this bright, and like in the OLEDs, so bright, the glow of the molten iron. And then when it hits 100%, you pull a lever and it comes out and it smelts it into iron cubes. And like moments like that are excellent. And the other thing about it kind of feeling like a bit of an empty Minecraft, which I know is a harsh criticism. At the end of the day, I played Minecraft when it was in alpha, like God knows how many years ago. And when Minecraft first came out, it was a very empty game. And this actually does a lot more than Minecraft did. It's just that because we have Minecraft that has Microsoft investment in all these modes, it's very difficult not to create those comparisons. But this is a different game. And speaking with the dev during my Let's Play, it seems that they have a lot of scope of what they want to do. They do want to add multiplayer. They do want to add other features. And they did say that, you know, they don't want to do any Kickstarters or stuff like that. They just want to create awesome new modes. And then hopefully that increases the sales of the game, which I totally respect. But when we talk about like games that really show off the power of the PSVR2 headset, when you stick your head like on the ground and you're seeing those 8K textures, it is absolutely phenomenal. And seeing like the night sky with the moon and the snow.
Is it worth the game taking up 60 gig on my hard drive?
Is that what it is? Is it 60 gig?
It's something insane.
Big. It's big.
Yeah. Well, I don't need it to be that sharp, right? Because I'm not putting my head down on the ground and looking at textures, right? I'm just playing the game, and
sure.
I would settle for 2K textures and have it be 30 gig.
Yeah, I don't know. And like cutting down trees is amazing. You have to like hit the tree in the same place 3 times for it. Like,
but didn't you find chopping trees to be more enjoyable in like Green Hell? Like Green Hell felt way more satisfying to me than chopping. This felt a little, I don't know, clunky to me.
It had clunky elements for sure. I kind of liked it. I don't know. In terms of the textures, like, to be fair, I know you're joking, but like the looking at the ground closely, I did once at the beginning. But my point is that you do see the benefit of the 8K textures with everywhere that you go.
Yeah.
And I think it also, when you're going into the caves, I was just like, you better not have some monster down here. The caves are so dark. Like, you don't see far, and like, they could be so evil and put some creepy shit in there. Yeah, I mean, look, this game, I think people are going to kind of know. I think if you've never played like Minecraft and that before, and you kind of like the idea of being in solitude and building your own house and that, you would like it.
Yeah.
If you're someone that's a hardcore Minecraft fan and want this to be your Minecraft fix, it might not hit that because it doesn't have a lot of that functionality. But it is a technical spectacle, and I'm glad it exists. And yeah, it does show the power of VR in the headset for sure.
Dude, we were talking about the size of the game. I was like, is it worth it being 60 gig? And Alice Ryan in the chat says, the answer is a resounding yes. Gran Turismo 7 is twice that size. Yeah, but that's Gran Turismo 7.
you do something in Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with, Miles, it's a beautiful game. I'll give Cube that all day long.
Yeah.
But like I said before, I got a single player campaign, like the freeform nature of that game. I played it for like an hour before I was like, I'm out. Like, and if I could download people's creations or like explore and see what other people are making, I'd be back in. Like, just because I've seen some of the things people have made. It's impressive as all hell. But that's a 5-minute visit because this castle is cool, but I'm wandering in it by myself, not really doing anything. And then it's like, well, I guess I better make some more stuff. So I mean, for me, it honestly reminds me. This is like the Discovery for PSVR 2. Yeah. It's a way better experience overall than Discovery. But ultimately, if you're not one just to like spend hours in VR, just creating your own little, area or own little environment, there's not a lot here for you. And yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you completely. This is going to be one of those. It's what you make of it, and kind of the sort of creator modes of the Minecraft. But the fact you can't visit other people's worlds is something that I know that is on the roadmap, and it needs it. I think multiplayer is going to be a massive game changer. The only reason I'm playing it still at the moment is I'm going for the platinum trophy because I've actually made a lot of progress with it, and like that is a sort of self-imposed progression in the game. But when I first played it the first time, I was like, oh, I don't really think there's a lot to it. And then as I started following the tutorial, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. But until I'm playing it with other people and building stuff together, or if there was some survival elements, that would be really cool as well. But
it's so
the
strange.
thing it did answer for...
So strange they give you a bow and arrow. So strange they give you a bow and arrow. There's bunnies and deer to shoot and kill, and there's no reason for any of it to be in the game at all. Yeah. I mean, if there was a survival mode, sign me up. I would be all about this. But I spent hours wandering around and creating stuff, and I mean, the whole time I feel like I was forcing myself to push forward when I wasn't really enjoying any of it. It's fine for what it is, but I'm more interested in the things that are on their roadmap than the things that they've given us so far, right? Including the ability to climb with your hands. I don't like using the teleport to try to get out of
button,
get out of holes.
No jump button.
Right?
And they're fighting that one. They're really they don't want a jump button in their game. They're like, no, we have teleport. It's like, jump. Like, no, teleport.
Can I just say one last thing? Again, and I know it will pain the dev for us to like talk about Minecraft because you obviously want it, but there's clearly similarities, and you can't avoid that. But when Minecraft came out on PSVR, and it was you had to use the DualShock 4 controller, and it was the idea of like you want to mine with your hands. In the back of my head, I was thinking, but do you want to have to constantly be digging all this stuff? This game answers it, because this you have to, and actually in the tutorial they teach you to dual wield pickaxes. It's quicker to do it if you build two, right? And there's no durability as well. And I was like, you know what, Minecraft free flowing, like it's a workout, but it's fun and it's immersive, and the haptics and the sounds in this are really, really good. So it does make me think, having free flowing hands for Minecraft would totally work.
Yep. I think I missed part of the conversation in the chat here, but whoever's talking about dreams in the chat, I think that's a major problem, right? Because this game's all about creativity, and we had the ultimate creative game on PSVR 1, and that was Dreams. Dreams, you could make any game that you wanted to, you could do anything you wanted to, and people proved it again and again that you could make anything that you had in your brain, you could make a game. And the fact that we don't have that on PSVR 2 is fucking blasphemy. And everything else by comparison will always feel insanely limited. This included, unfortunately. Guys, let's take a break and talk to the GameCat Andrew Ehrenreich for a second here, because the GameCat Andrew Ehrenreich with the level 2 membership says, I've fallen a little bit behind on the stream, but y'all finally convinced me to buy Walkabout Mini Golf. What levels do you recommend I buy? All right, across the board, what are our favorites? What should Andrew be picking up?
I'm a sucker for the Labyrinth level, but that might be my childhood influenced me a fair bit. But it's a gorgeous. I even like the movie that much, but it's kind of a visual spectacle, and it's cool to see how many elements from that movie they put in there, and it's a really fun map. I love that map.
Ryan, I would back that up. I have never seen Labyrinth.
You've never seen David Bowie's penis movie?
Right, I was gonna say the same thing.
That's the whole movie. That's the whole movie is like David Bowie being like, "Here's my penis. Here's my penis again. Hey, have you seen my penis?" It's a kids movie, guys.
I didn't see that Walkabout level unless it's there. I missed it. But
if you zoom out of the course, like if you fly up and look down, all the holes are shaped like big old penises.
Wow,
no joke.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, that aside, not being familiar with the IP, other than like the stairs going up and down like the wrong way, I fucking love that map. I think it's one of the best ones. So as someone who doesn't know Labyrinth, I still think that's a massive recommendation. Mine, the Round the World in 80 Days, the Eiffel Tower, I think is just absolutely phenomenal. Like you're just going up such a high structure, and like there's bits where you're peering down. I think it comes with the game to begin with, the underwater one in the ocean.
Atlantis?
Yeah, that is a beautiful level.
Really nice looking.
What about you, Brian?
My two favorites have been my two favorites for the longest time, and I don't know what it is that keeps bringing me back to them. It's definitely partially the aesthetic, like I love the lighting in these, and but also the course design is great too, and that's El Dorado, which is kind of out in the jungle.
Yes,
and I love that the normal and the hard courses are so different. It's like time has passed, right? The normal one is during the day, everything moves. There's like on the second hole, there's like this statue that's moving like this, and you have to get the ball into the hand at the right time. And then you come back and you play the hard mode. It's nighttime, it's raining, there's thunder and lightning, everything's been destroyed. So that statue is just like in pieces, and like it's now different because of it. So that one has always resonated with me. But then also 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Thank you, Nick, in the chat.
Yes.
You had my back before I even said it. Just love the course design in that, and I love all the little details because every room in that has so many little details that you can see. Great lighting, love it.
Brian, funnily enough, those two levels you mentioned, when my best friend was over and I was showing him Walkabout and we played it, he was on the quest on the PS2. Two levels I showed him, it was those two you mentioned. It was exactly those two.
You did a great job, Miles. I commend you. he better have gone out and bought a PSVR2 and Walkabout immediately after.
He's definitely thinking about it, which isn't good enough.
It's awesome.
There you go, 5 courses.
Yeah, not
to
bad.
choose from.
So that's $20 right there.
Yeah.
There's bundles all over the place, though.
Actually, does the bundle now go? Do they keep updating?
They do update it every so often, and so it gets more expensive because there's more in the bundle. But I do so definitely check that out, Andrew. And you're gonna end up buying all the courses eventually. It's like an addiction, to buy them all. So buy the biggest bundle you can get. Guys, if we could really quickly, I want to talk about a game that I've been playing this week that I haven't played in a while. I mean, I haven't played religiously in a while. I've definitely been playing it on and off here and there. But because there were some recent updates and because I've been wanting to re-review this game for a while, I've been playing Galaxy Kart.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna say this, and you'll hear me say this again on the re-review that's either coming. It's at this point not coming later tonight. It'll be tomorrow. After having played a bunch of Dash World on Quest 2, and having played all the other kart racer games that came to PSVR 1, including Touring Karts, which was probably the best one we ever got, I'm pretty confident that Galaxy Kart is the best kart racer in VR, period. Across all the platforms. VR Monkey has taken what I rated a 3.5 at launch. There was only, I think, 4 tracks at launch, something along that. And now there's 18, I think. I'm going to get the numbers wrong. It'll be correct in the review. They changed the entire look of the game because it used to run at 60 reprojected to 120. Now it runs at 90 native. So it feels super smooth, which is great for a racing game. It actually feels like, a lot faster because of this. On top of that, it's sharper than it was at launch. Like it was kind of blurry at launch for whatever reason. They've added new racers, like characters to choose from, each with their own special ability. They've added new karts, which are just cosmetic, basically. And like, I mean, the UI has been improved. I mean, talk about like listening to everything that everybody complained about for the last year plus and going through and going, okay, we'll knock that out. We'll knock that out. We'll knock that out. And they're still taking suggestions, right? Like we were playing yesterday and sometimes the first place guy got way out in front and was like, that's it. You get way out in front on lap 1. And unless you all team up, in position 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and say we're not going to fight. We're just going to chase after the first place guy. Unless you do that, you're just not catching him. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I hate saying this, I hate suggesting this, but the game needs a blue shell.
Yeah.
Right. So many people hate the blue shell, and I totally understand. But like, this game needs it just for balance sake. And they were like, oh, we've already got the mega missile in place, and he showed us like renders of the mega missile. Like, they're just constantly listening to all the feedback, And it doesn't have crossplay right now, but it's gonna have crossplay like very, very, very soon with Quest and PC. Like it's just nonstop. So like I'm working on the re-review. I've been having so much fun playing this. Yes, there's still little issues. It's a $20 budget kart racer, so sometimes the physics get wonky. Sometimes you get stuck in the track and you can't reset, right? But like again, these are all things that they're looking at. They're going to implement a button to reset yourself to the track because this shit happens, right? Unbelievable for a game that's clearly not making its money back. Right? Unbelievable how much work VR Monkey's put into it, and unbelievable how much better the game has gotten in the last year. This is one of those games like Walkabout that you should just fucking have sitting on your hard drive so that when friends are around to play, you can play.
That's amazing to hear.
Oh, and yes, it has wheel support. Whoever asked that in the chat, thank you, Nihilus Ryan, for pointing that out. Playing on a racing rig just feels great. It feels like because the little smaller wheel of the racing rig feels like a go-kart wheel, and so the whole time I've got one hand on the wheel and one hand, with a sense controller, dealing out damage to my enemies. Like the only way things could get better from a kart racing perspective is if we got like Crash Team Racing or like an actual Mario Kart, like a big budget AAA racer. But like for a $20 budget game, I'm pretty fucking happy with this.
Yeah, I'll have to dive back in. I haven't played since launch, and I liked when I played at launch, but it was such a small game, and they're already making promises when it launched, like, oh, we have this much coming. It just felt like I was reviewing an early access game, so I kind of just put it behind me.
Yeah.
And not say I forgot about it because I've been hearing about it, but I didn't realize just kind of how much it's improved till you just said so. So I think I'll be diving back in. I should have dove back into that today instead of Jurassic Park. That's my bad. But I think you just sold me on hopping back into seeing what it's all about because what was the other kart race you just mentioned? Dash Dash.
Yeah.
I love Dash Dash.
Yeah, it's really good.
And if you're saying it's better than Dash Dash, well then I got to play this.
I think it is. It's been a while since I played Dash Dash, but like I just feel like there was always something about Dash Dash that made me feel like it wasn't intense enough. Like it felt like the speed didn't make me feel like I was moving. Almost like when you're I don't even know really how to describe it. Galaxy Kart has a rawness to it where like you hit those speed boosts and you're like, all right, here we go, we're moving, right? And you just learn to hit speed boost after speed boost, like learn the shortcuts. Like if you've got like nitrous in your hands, like you're holding on to it because like you're like, oh my god, there's going to be a section up here that doesn't have speed boost, so you're like speed boost, boom. There's a character that has one of the newer characters. Their special is you grab motor oil, like it's on a cooldown. You grab the motor oil and you drink it. It comes out as a rainbow, so it must not be real motor oil. And that's like the fastest speed boost you can get in the game. And it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy. Again, I always want to qualify all this. Like it is a budget game and very frequently feels like a budget game, but you're gonna get your $20 worth out of this again and again. So that's it.
Well, I haven't played it since they added a feature that I really wanted, which was the tournament mode, which was having multiple races. So
there's 6 tournaments.
Yeah, I need to get back to it.
Yeah, I'm getting back. And you sold me, Brian. You sold me.
Even Gran Turismo 7 doesn't have tournaments for multiplayer, so which was really annoyed me.
So you're saying it's a better game than Gran Turismo 7?
In terms of tournaments,
that's a box.
Yeah. In terms of tournaments, yeah.
We're getting sued by somebody. Yeah.
That's okay. We have no money.
I don't know. Any other games? I know we're kind of running along here. Any other games that you guys have been playing that you want to bring up that you want to talk about?
I think I'm good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been taking it easy. I think we talked about everything I've been playing, so unless we start going back pretty far, but
there's one that I will mention, but it's more of a warning. CleanSheet came out last week. The goalkeeping
soccer.
Game.
Oh yeah.
Soccer. Yeah.
Football.
Soccer. Yeah. The reason I want to flag it up is I think it's like a $20 game.
Yeah.
And I would recommend, not just a shameless plug, check out my Let's Play because I go through the modes, and even if you just skip to the end to my final thoughts, there's very limited game modes in it. There's like only 2 sort of game modes. One where you're defending balls that are getting launched at you from portals. There's no haptics in the hands, which just feels like, what? You're saving the ball with your hands and you're not feeling it. If it hits your head, you can header the ball and stuff and you get headset rumble. So I think it's probably a glitch. But it's definitely not that difficult, and you have to play it for quite a lot. You know, when you play like those wave shooters and you're like, I'm not playing this again because it takes so long until you get into the bit that you find challenging. It's like that. And then they have another mode where you're in goal and on the pitch, and there are these like set pieces that are kind of cool, but there was no real sense that it was actually a game, but actually you have to defend against 10 waves and then it gives you a score. So it felt like it was light on content. But then it turns out that there is additional content, but you have to pay for it. And it's like $3, and there's like 5 different extra mini game modes within a game mode. So
wait,
with
$3 for each of those modes?
I think so. I think it was $3, yeah, for each of those modes. So you're paying, what, $20 for the game, and then you're paying 15. For maybe it was like 4 modes or something. And even though I had a review copy, it didn't come with those modes. I was mentioning that the game mode that you can buy extra for, it's where there's set pieces. So sometimes they'll do a free kick, sometimes it's a corner. The paid modes seem to be like just corners or just free kicks, so it adds maybe customization. It's one of those things of I wouldn't even want to risk paying for it because I feel like you're going to feel shortchanged. And then you can buy custom gloves or footballs or soccer balls, which cost like $2 each individually. There's no packs. And so my main takeaway from the game was it's light on content unless you're willing to pay more than the initial $20 you pay for it on. And even that isn't guaranteed. So although in my Let's Plays I don't tend to give recommendations to other games, Wrestle Player is a game with American football. It has soccer, whether it's heading the ball or being in goal, and then there's reaction time stuff. If you're into that stuff, Wrestle Player does it so much better. It's much more immersive, and there's a lot more content to it. So I just wanted to throw that out as a bit of a warning, which I hate to do, but I was really shocked. Wow. Well, I feel like I'm gonna skip this one now. Like, it's so ridiculous, man. It's like it's so hard to get eyes on your game to begin with, and then when it comes with a warning like that, where it's just like, oh yeah, you're not even buying all the modes.
Yeah.
Oh, it says there, play with friends. Well, that's not even in the PSVR2 one. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Goalie Wars. Okay, Goalie Wars. We don't have either. So,
wait, we don't have it, or it's one of the paid ones.
I don't know if it was. Okay, right. So this makes sense now from seeing this commercial, because one of the modes on PSVR2 is target practice, and you have this like plunger where you pull it back and you let go and it fires a ball at targets. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's the point in this like training mode? Like, when are you going to use this? And it seems like it's for a multiplayer mode where one's in goal and one defends. This makes me want to go back in the game now and see if I've completely missed this multiplayer mode. But let me check on the PlayStation still while we talk about other stuff. But I went through it. So
while we talk about other stuff, you mean like 20 questions that we play at the end of every single show? In this week, because Ryan is the guest, he will be the host. It's supposed to be my turn, but you know what? I'm going to pass the honors on to Ryan. So you guys know
I've checked. There's no multiplayer on the PSVR2 version, so right. It has training modes for modes that you don't get to play. So
gross.
Yeah. So we're getting totally screwed here, guys. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. It's a shame. All right, guys. Everyone help us out. Miles and I only have 20 yes or no questions and only 6 minutes on the clock to figure out what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game Ryan is thinking of. Suggest good games in the chat. Suggest good questions for us to ask. Miles, are you ready to do this?
No, but let's do it.
I feel like it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Ryan, you got a game picked out?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's do it. On your mark, get Des. Go. Go ahead, Miles. Take it away.
Does it have multiplayer?
No.
On the PSVR2
so it could be CleanSheet. All right. Is it on PSVR 2?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, so it's
a
PSVR 1 game. It's a single player.
Oh, I'm a dick. I apologize, boys.
Single player PSVR 1 game.
Yep.
Does it have a significant amount of puzzle elements to it? So we're not talking about the occasional. So it doesn't. Okay.
Okay, so not really a puzzle game. That's what we said. Does it have full locomotion?
No.
I like that he's stumbling on it. So let's read into that deeply. Okay. Like, so why would he say it that way? Is it because it's on rails? Is it because?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. I'm just gonna ask this, Bryan. Is it on rails?
No, I'm just gonna say it's you walk around. You do walk around freely, but it's click turn only. I'll give you guys a little extra hint.
Oh, whoa. Okay. So wait, you do walk around freely, and it's click turn only.
Yeah.
So it's not teleportation. It's you actually do move. Like.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. Full locomotion, click turning only. What games gave us full locomotion and only click turning on PSVR 1? Probably a lot of them. It was a rough time.
Does it have a realistic aesthetic? Have they gone for realism?
Yes.
All right, realistic. Is it horror?
No.
Okay. That means I'm out.
Are you shooting weapons in this?
Yes.
Oh,
oh man, this whole click turning thing's gonna get me.
Yeah. Did this developer, did they make other PSVR 1 games other than this?
No.
Oh no, we're really screwed, Miles. This is a one and done. Oh god.
How many questions are we on? 8 or 9?
Just keep at it. It's always the time that we have an issue with, not so much the questions.
Okay, let's sort of go with more the genre because we know it's not horror. But is it sci-fi / futuristic?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so it's not horror, it's not sci-fi. God, I wanted to ask about fantasy, but like other than Skyrim, for some reason I'm totally blanking on fantasy games at all. So let's see what the chat is asking. It can't be Desperate Plot of Bostock because that actually did come to PSVR2, right?
Do you control vehicles in this game?
Nope.
No vehicles.
You're shooting weapons. It's going for realism, full locomotion, but click turning only. It's single player. It's on PSVR 1, but not on PSVR 2. It's not puzzle focused, not horror, not sci-fi. No vehicles. You don't control vehicles.
Are there melee weapons?
No.
No melee. Okay, so it's just shooting.
Tatum, it can't be Kona because you drive a truck in like half of that game, and then you ride a snowmobile. Is it? Yeah, I like Hookworm's question. Is it more of an experience than a game?
No. It's supposed to be a game.
It's supposed to be.
Are you counting questions, Bryan?
No, that's your job.
Okay, no worries. Then I have a count here. I just wasn't sure.
Okay, all good.
I may have missed one, but that's fine.
Should we try and nail what the enemies are?
Yeah,
in this game.
Yeah, well, and we should. Yeah, we got to speed this up.
Are you killing humans?
No.
Robots?
Nope.
I don't.
Would you say this game is inspired by another game? Let's say in the way that Stride was inspired by Mirror's Edge. Would you say that this is?
No,
not okay. Shit, we could do. What we didn't figure out what kind of controllers he uses. Does he use the aim controller?
No.
Uh-oh.
Can you use the DualShock?
Yes.
You can.
Do you fish in this game?
No. And you're up to like 18 questions here.
Okay, we've only got like 17 seconds anyway. We got one more question. Ask a question, Miles.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's single player.
And next time you have me on, I will not do this to your channel again.
Oh no. Are there aliens in the game? I'm just.
No.
Oh no. Oh no.
You're not killing monsters.
All right.
No, I didn't think so. So what the
You. No guess?
Dude, we're out of time, and I don't think we have a guess anyway. Is that right, Miles?
Yeah.
All right.
If I said you killed turkeys?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
my fucking... Don't tell me it's Hero Kid.
No, it's Wild Turkey Hunter.
Oh, no. It's even worse.
And you know what's funny is it's DS4 only. You actually drive vehicles in the flat version of that game, but they took that out of the VR version.
I can't believe I have a
that
trailer.
was one of the worst experiences I ever had in VR. And I promise if Bryan ever has me back after this, I won't do these deep cuts anymore because they're just too deep. I did this to him last time as well with Medusa and her lover.
Oh, right.
Oh, you got it though. You actually guessed that one by the end. It was like no time to spare.
I'm sure it was because Looper was in the chat helping us out.
I thought for sure if there's some old fans of my channel in here, like that review got actually a fair bit of love.
Wow.
Because it was the worst thing ever.
Dude.
In order to shoot, you had to stop moving. And it wasn't the gun wasn't actually mapped to DS4. It was like stuck to your chest.
Yes.
And in order to move, you had to move your. It didn't line up properly. You couldn't kill. You had to shoot the turkey only in the head. Anything else didn't count. You'd wander for 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you actually found the turkey.
Yes.
Once it got dark, the game was over because you just ran out of time. It was so bad on so many levels. So that's why I picked it.
Dude,
I'm a dick.
I wanted to review this game. I spent time with this game. I think this is totally fair play. I spent time with this game and like literally was never able to kill a turkey. Like hours.
I never did either.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, I should have reviewed it then.
It's bad. It is. There's no redeeming qualities. I think what was the redeeming quality? I think I picked one thing.
Oh, you're just trekking through
Maybe
the woods
the sounds of nature or something.
Hours.
Maybe.
It's
It's just. Oh yeah, you couldn't tell where you were on the map because you were just a red dot, so you couldn't actually tell which direction you were walking. It was a pure guessing game. It was a nightmare of a VR experience.
Amazing. Listen, man, I love the deep. I don't want deep cuts every week, but I will totally take deep cuts here and there. So, thank you for that.
I have to say
trip down memory lane.
That was pretty foul play.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
This is the PSVR channel, so I figure it's the only place I can drop those kind of gems.
For real. Next time Ryan's on, he is not hosting this, and we're gonna hit him with the deepest of deep cuts.
To be honest, when the question was, "Do you kill humans?" he said no. I knew that whatever the answer was would have given us the clue, but we would have used all our questions going through all the different species.
Dude, I mean, the fact that even when he said turkeys, I thought it was Hero Kid because of the turkey shooting game in Hero Kid means that like I was fucked no matter what. So even if we had found out that the enemies were turkeys, I still would have lost. Ryan, thank you so much for being here, man. Always a pleasure to have you on. Guys, if you're not already a subscriber to the VR Grid, make sure you head on over to the VR Grid. Give them some love. I'm sure there'll be something over there happening. Are you guys back on some kind of regular schedule? I know that every so often
we were until like last week. We're off again probably for the next few months. Work and everything else is kind of just putting everything on hold. So, but the reviews and stuff are still coming. It's just the podcast that's on hold. So we're still making content. So there's no worries there, guys.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here. And of course, while you're subscribing to things, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/Miles, where he's pretty much successfully streamed every PSVR2 game ever made.
I'm getting close. By the end of next week, I should have been caught up. Yep. Although Captain Toonhead is still not out in Europe.
Oh no. Whatever will we do? All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Everybody who everybody supports the channel. Obviously, we'll start with the financial people who support us on Patreon, and our members over here. We love you guys so very much. Everybody who hangs out and shoots the shit with us in the chat, keeps us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. Everyone who tips during the show, god damn it, you guys are so generous. It means the world. But I don't know, man. You know what? Like, come hang out with us on Discord. Come hang out in the chat. You don't have to spend any money. That's not the important thing around here. Just love the community. and doing my absolute best to lose subscribers by the day so that we can be a nice tight knit family again. I'm succeeding, so don't worry, guys. We'll be down to like 60, 70,000 any day now. It'll be great. That's it.
Did you know, Brian?
What's up?
Did you know that Wild Turkey Hunter had a horror mod? It was called.
Did not.
Here's the joke.
It was called Poultrygeist.
Oh. I was gonna say thanks for having me, but I think that just ruined that for me.
And thanks everybody who sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Let's go.
Yep. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Man, it's been such a crazy day. We didn't do GameCat name changes. We don't have a clip of the week ready. Oh no, I'm so sorry, everybody. But don't worry. When we'll do this again next week, and we'll get back on track. Maybe though, we should do something that we do all the time and take a look back in Without Parole history and see what was happening on this day a few years ago. You guys want to take a look back?
Sure. And also, I just said have a good weekend because I'm still in the
Friday mode. Dude, I
can't shake it off.
Listen, I don't like this situation that we're in. I don't like not doing this 3 days a week. I feel like something is wrong, like I'm screwing everybody over. I do not like it. Sam, I am. And so we'll have to talk about this because I can't stand it. All right, let's check out what was happening on this day in Without Parole history in 2021. 3 years ago. Here it is. Days of Play sale plus PSVR2 plus Dreamscom 2020. Okay, guys, this is when things go real bad. Like this is the headline for the show. It's almost as bad as, hey, this is what we've been playing.
The Days of Play, is that overdue then?
Is that
it this time of year?
Yeah. It should be going live. There's actually rumors floating around right now from people who are, claiming to be credible leakers, or maybe people who are credible leakers and, posting rumors, that the Days of Play, which is happening next week, I believe, that there's going to be $100 discount on PSVR2 headsets.
I heard that.
You heard that too?
Yep.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I wonder if it'll move the needle. $100. I feel like $300 is where the needle really moves. But for $400, no, it'll be $450 or $500, right? Depending on which one you get. It's still a lot of fucking money.
It is, man. The thing, I know we've spoken about this loads. They need to every month in PlayStation Plus have a free PSVR2 game you claim, just so that every month that passes, it increases the value proposition that they go, oh, if I now fork out the money, I've got 5 games to hit the ground running with. The
100%.
Fact that you buy
for sure.
The thing,
100%.
you buy the headset, and because PSVR had it, like when I bought my PSVR, I had Resident Evil 7 with it, and then I had PlayStation Worlds, which was just an amazing, like, here's your entry to VR. People that have never had VR before, what, you got to buy it and then decide what games you're going to get? Like,
right.
That's such a big ask for people that are new to it.
Yep, I agree, man. I agree. This is it's sort of the Trojan horse, right? You give people some free games, and suddenly you're like, well, shit, might as well buy the device now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
for sure.
All right, well, guys, everybody have a great rest of the week. Hopefully, I'll have that Galaxy Kart review up tomorrow, and we won't see you Friday because that's not how we do things anymore. I'm really sad about that. But thanks again, Ryan, and thanks again, Miles, and thank you, everybody. We love you so much.
Thanks for having me.